The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Good morning, sunshine.
Today's the first day of spring.
People love spring.
Where are all the chicks, butthead? I think they all sleep late because they're tired from scoring all night. Oh, yeah, right.
The first day of spring, right in between winter and summer, day and night are each 12 hours long. This is called the vernal equinox.
The first day of spring.
The first day of spring. It's showtime.
Here we go, huh? Welcome to the Half-Ass Morning Show. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. What do you make of all this, Josh? This first day of spring.
Oh, I'm fine with it. How about yourself? It takes a little while to settle in.
Who's got time for that? That's what comes to mind for me. The first day of spring.
You know, it's the first day of
Pretty
spring.
overwhelming, don't you think?
When they're predicting 3 possibly significant snowfalls in the next week.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Although today it could be close to 50.
Yeah, 49 is a high.
It's confusing.
Yeah, it really is.
Super windy.
Things have been sideways all winter long. Okay, the first day of spring. I mean, yeah, forget about the weather suddenly turning normal. That's what it is. The weather's finally turned normal.
Yeah.
But just, okay, the first day of spring, time to get out and go bikini shopping, maybe.
Oh, I bought one not too long ago.
Did you buy a new bikini?
Yep. This cool brand that I found, it's called like Strawberry Milk Mob, something like that. And they came out with like Valentine's themed ones. So I had to snag one instantly.
Brand new bikini, okay.
I'd imagine people have been maybe some spring break sales and things like that.
The
Folks
spring break
traveling to exotic destinations to lay on a beach somewhere.
Maybe time to tune up your bicycle.
Yeah.
I don't own a bicycle. Every year I say, maybe I'll get one. And every year I do not get one.
Same here, Josh.
I promised myself I'd never buy another bike because I've had so many stolen growing up from our garage. So I thought, I'm never, ever going to buy a bike again. And then I did. As a birthday present for a girlfriend, I bought her one and I bought me one thinking we could bike together. We never did.
How
Never
quickly
one time,
did they
so
get stolen?
I gave away my bike.
Oh, you actually gave it away?
I gave it away. We never used it.
All right, so you're not interested in a bicycle. What about a unicycle?
No, but there is a unicycle club in the city of Eagan.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So bizarre.
I don't think I could do it. I've seen them. They're very good. But I know I am interested in a bike. That's what I'm saying. Every single year,
you are
I tell
interested.
myself, maybe this is the year.
The unicycle gang, when you see them, how many...
Club.
Sorry, club. How many people do they usually have with them?
1,000.
Like a huge pack of
It's
them?
like 1,000, right?
I'd say
Thousand.
the largest group I've seen is 3.
Babes everywhere?
Yeah, my oldest, his buddy in school joined the unicycle club. His parents made him join the unicycle club.
A friend of yours when you were a kid?
No, a buddy of my oldest, when he was in school, his parents made him join.
You know you can get an electric unicycle now, right?
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
you
one
can-
of those.
I think we talked about this. You can get an electric anything. You
Yeah.
get an electric skateboard, roller skates, a dildo. I was just looking at a unicycle over the weekend, and
Are you considering and trying it out? Or
I guess
considering trying it out?
what I mean by looking at it is I was at a friend of mine's house, and he has one stored up in his rafters, in his garage. I was in his garage drinking beer, and he has one stored up in the rafters of his garage. It was a gift that someone gave to his children, and the kids, of course, spent 35 seconds trying it out and then lost interest and went back to playing Call of Duty or something. You know?
I tried it a couple times. I could maybe get 2 pedals in and that's it.
I'm thinking about, I'm maybe going to make an offer on that sumbitch. If his kids don't want it, and his kids are growing up now to where they're even less interested
over it.
in such things, I'm thinking about making an offer on that damn thing. You know, I've got an obsession. I don't know, maybe you wouldn't call it an obsession, but lately I'm buying up all kinds of non-motorized vehicles, I guess is the term. I got a bicycle. I got a scooter. Just bored summertime stuff. I like scooting around.
Well, those are motorized, right? Aren't they e-bikes?
Oh, right. Give me whatever term I'm looking for. It's not a gas-powered thing. It's
electric?
I'm buying up all kinds of electric stuff. Anyway, where I'm going with this is I might want to try a unicycle. I bet that would be a hell of a lot of fun once you get it mastered.
Why didn't you guys bring it down from the rafter and go for a test run right there?
Oh, because we were busy with this party. I mean, that would have taken a lot of
party.
Yeah, that would have taken a lot of work to go get it up. But anyway,
I thought it was just you guys, just 3-4 years.
Well, you were wrong. You were wrong.
It sounds like it's a normal one, not an intention grabber riding around the lake where it's 3-4 stories high.
Normal.
Just a normal.
Normal. What else could you do on the first day of spring?
I'd like to try one of those. Oh, what are they called? Is it just called a one wheel?
Oh,
yes, I want to try one so bad.
I've tried one before.
Is it difficult?
It's a little. It goes faster than you think it's going to go.
Oh, dude, I've seen some people cruising on those things.
You can get those up to 25.
Yeah, I had to jump off it because I got kind of frightened.
It's supposed to mimic snowboard motions.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh,
yeah, it just looks like
hard.
if you're not familiar, it looks like a skateboard with a big fat wheel right in the middle of it. It's motorized.
Yes,
yeah, and I've never seen anybody go at normal speed on them. They're always hauling ass.
Yeah, I saw a guy whipping around on that at the park, and he had like a whole helmet, like a face mask helmet on.
Oh yeah,
that's smart.
I was like, oh my god, and he went past me so fast. I was like, dude, he's going at least 30. That's insane.
The electric skateboard, the boosted board, you can get it up to 30 miles per
That's
hour.
so dangerous.
Could you imagine hitting a pothole? Just launch.
Yeah, you get a raccoon that runs out in front of you or something.
I'd love to see that though.
Few people texting in saying, they're going to miss riding motorcycles as they did in January and February in this Minnesota winter that wasn't.
Maybe you get out and start picking up the dog turds.
That's been the coolest part. I've been able to clean up the dog turds all year, so it hasn't been just an overwhelming pile
Maybe you
Yeah.
brush the dead mice off the top of your grill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get ready for grilling season.
Oh, yeah. Fish them out of the hot tub. Well, I suppose you use the hot tub in the winter.
You ever find the large mouse family?
No.
Who's been living in your grill for the winter?
Thankfully not.
Maybe get the car washed. I don't know. Pick up all the empty beer cans in the garage. Just start cleaning some things out.
Cigarette butts in the lawn.
Oh, man. When my folks used to come visit, I'd get a good, like some overnights you get an inch or two of snow. I get an inch or two of cigarette butts right outside the back door.
Yep.
I don't know why they never felt the need to. I got a perfectly good bucket there. I'd even tell them, "Hey, that bucket outside the door, that's for cigarette." They go, "Oh yeah, that's cute," and then they'd flick them out into the yard. Yeah.
As you're saying it, they just flick it in front of you too.
Go outside, shovel up 1-2 inches of cigarette butts out here.
Beef Cannon Jesus is taking responsibility for the snow coming up. He said he put his sled away for just in storage last weekend. I'd also like to take a little credit for it simply because I took the sandbags out of the bed of my pickup truck thinking, I'm not going to need these.
Don't need these no more.
I've just been driving around with these things wasting gas mileage.
I thought about turning my heat off the other week when it was hitting 60 degrees.
Oh, it's been off.
Oh, mine too.
Yeah, you see some of these folks, they've done that already, Ashley. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? All right. It's all very exciting to be sitting here as free citizens on the first day of spring.
More folks taking responsibility for the upcoming snowstorm/storms. I'm not fat, I'm aerodynamic. Jesus said, I just bought a brand new zero-turn mower just in time for the biggest snowstorm of the year.
Is that really what they're talking? The biggest snowstorm of the
I don't know,
running?
that's what he calls it.
All right.
I did see one story said they made sure as a caveat say, hey, listen, this could change a million times before it happens, but if things go as they are right now, we could see a foot or more, he said.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, F.
But you know how that goes.
Yeah.
It's Snowmageddon tomorrow. Might as well just call in sick and then you don't get a flake.
Watch us get 13 inches. What?
I'd be done.
F me.
Here's all the snow that you didn't have this year.
Oh, I'd be so angry, Waffle.
Running sideways. Dairy farming, sheet metal, banging your mom, Jesus. Thank you for listening. Thank you for texting in. He went back to the topic of a unicycle. He says, be very careful with those things. 2 years ago, he says he was at a parade. And there was a guy in the parade with one of those unicycles. A drunk watching the parade asked to try it.
No.
And the drunk wiped out on the unicycle, and he ended up having one of the bones sticking up out of his leg.
Oh, wait.
Come on. That's incredible.
That'd be crazy to see.
Dude, dairy farming, sheet metal, banging your mom, Jesus, call me the next time this parade is happening. I gotta see this.
When you mentioned that you were drinking beer in your buddy's garage, you noticed a unicycle. I was thinking if I had been in that situation, having a couple beers and saw a unicycle, I definitely would have gotten on that thing. I definitely would have hurt myself.
We had conversations, but like I said, it was a big fat-ass party, and it would have been a...
Sure.
Yeah, if there's one around, I wouldn't mind giving that a shot again.
I'm going to see what I can do, Cubby. I'm going to make an offer. I told you the story about the 3-story tall unicycle guy we had in my hometown for years that would torture everybody. We snapped at him. We had to snap, and we never saw him again.
Yeah, we had a dude that we'd see riding around the lakes all the time in that thing.
Every Saturday morning when we would leave breakfast, here's Dinkus on his 3-story tall unicycle, all by himself, and he would just ride around circles in the parking lot of the cafe, right? Every effing Saturday morning. And he was just dying for somebody to say, hey, that's incredible, or hey, that's weird, or hey, how do you do that? But we didn't care, okay? We certainly, the first time we said, hey, look at that. We didn't say it to him, but we just said to each other, hey, there's a guy on a... But he showed up every Saturday until we finally said, okay, we get it. You're different. And then we never saw him again.
Poor guy.
Well, what do you mean, poor guy? Poor us.
You don't have to watch it.
What are you talking about? He would ride right around. Look, he would look at us. You know what I'm talking about? He wasn't in the distance. He's right in front of us. We had to snap at him. He got tired after 6 months of this.
That's crazy. 6 months.
There's a guy that rides a 3-story tall bike right around here, around our work.
Yes.
I've never seen
you better
that guy.
say something to Wapple.
Yep.
He needs you to say something to him.
That's why he's doing it.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
he wants
jealous
it.
that you've seen that, though. I want to see it.
How haven't you? It's always like rush hour traffic or like 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning.
Well, how are you seeing somebody at 8 in the morning?
Wait, at 10.
That math didn't work.
Yeah, wait, I've seen you here at 8 in the morning. Medical device Jesus said one of his best friends tried riding a ripstick. Made it 7 seconds, wiped out, snapped his arm in half, and it sounded like a loud branch breaking.
Tell me
those
about
look sketchy.
Tell me about a rip stick.
So it's like a skateboard, but in the middle,
Oh.
it goes side to side, so that
sure.
you move your feet back.
I
and
believe
forth, and
I've-
then
We have one of those.
I believe I have seen one or two go by.
Those were huge for a while.
Oh, they were everywhere, Ashley. It was the hottest. I'm kidding. I don't know. But yeah, I've seen one or two.
Did you watch The Jerk yesterday, Wapple? Quite a few people are texting in on a topic we had yesterday. You'd mentioned you've never seen the movie The Jerk, and you thought you were going to watch it yesterday. Did you get a chance to do that?
No, I never did.
You bastard.
Steve
I know
Martin.
I'm stupid. I'm dumb.
You're
I
not
hate
that
myself.
bad. You're not that bad.
God.
Sometimes you're bad. Today you're. Steve Martin, Bernadette Peters, 1979. In case people are totally lost. Jackie, what was that comic? Jackie
Mason.
Mason, also in the. Well, you'll get around to it.
Yeah, I will.
Maybe this weekend you'll have time. Like I said, it's a movie that I believe you'll love.
I love Steve Martin too. He's hilarious.
Oh, he was brilliant when he was young. I mean, he's still brilliant, but especially in the late 70s, early 80s, there was nobody hotter than Steve Martin. It just dawned on me that a lot of the conversations we've had on this program over the years involve busting each other's chops for not seeing a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this yesterday, Wapple. I was trying to remember all the movies that I've thrown your way, or not you in particular, Wapple, but thrown to you folks and said, God, how have you not seen that yet? And then all of the movies that you guys have thrown at me.
Yep.
Said, God, how have you not seen?
Yeah, another one that's on my list in my phone of movies that you said we need to watch is Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Sure.
Never saw it.
Right.
Still haven't.
Right.
And you've been talking about it for like 10 years.
What about, I remember this. I remember going nuts on all these for not seeing The Right Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Still never seen it.
Still never saw it.
So you're un-American.
Mm-hmm.
You've just un-Americanized yourselves again by saying that you haven't watched The Right Stuff.
Have you guys seen Old Henry yet?
I saw like the first 10 minutes.
Oh, Nick brought that one up too.
You know, I'm with you on that one.
That one was a great movie.
Yes, it was.
Did I become slightly more of an American, though, when I watched Midnight Run after you recommended it so much? Because that became one of my favorite movies. That was absolutely fantastic.
I don't know how American it makes you, but I am proud of you. Because it's just one of the most entertaining, hilarious movies ever made. Robert De Niro, Charles Grodin, 1988, I believe, a movie called Midnight Run. So there you go. Get back to us, Wapple, when you...
I will.
Get back to Josh and I when you see The Jerk.
I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it.
Yeah,
and I'm excited for you because you get to experience it for the first time.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be tonight. Got stuff going on, but maybe tomorrow.
Sure.
No plans Wednesday through ever.
We don't need to...
You know, that's cool that you gave us your calendar. You can just say, I'll watch it when I have some free time.
Yeah.
I'll get to it.
Yeah.
We don't need to hear your schedule from now until the end of time.
Yeah, you guys know how literal I get. So.
What are you doing on April 2nd?
What else is going on around here? It's Tuesday. It's the first... Oh, yeah. Now people are texting in on other movies that I've pushed on you people, and I don't seem to ever get any kind of reward for my efforts. Cool Hand Luke.
Never saw it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Very good.
But then again, you guys haul off on me sometimes. You know, it's not all... There's plenty of... Yeah, as you guys know, there's plenty of stuff that I mean, especially anything from 1990 forward, I have very little idea.
Goonies, that frustrates me.
Come on, now wait a minute. Now time out.
Everybody has seen that movie, though. That's why it frustrates me.
Hey, if everybody jumps off a cliff, do you go ahead and jump?
All right, Mom.
Josh, we're sitting here talking about great movies that I haven't seen, but you guys have, and vice versa. And Ashley comes at me with The Goonies.
It's a really good movie.
I'm not. No, it is not.
Well, you haven't seen it, but it is a great movie.
If you're 11 years old.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, a lot of these movies, again, you're talking about are like really, really old movies. So when they came out, I was too young to see a lot of them. You know, it's not like today where you can just sit down and watch pretty much whatever you want. So,
what do you mean? You can't sit down and watch Cool Hand Luke or The Right Stuff or Midnight Run with all the availability?
Well, that's what I just said. I said, you say, hey, you've never watched some of these. Well, when they were popular and they came out, it wasn't like a thing that I could do, right? So, yeah, now I definitely could. But there's other stuff kind of occupying my time. For example, tomorrow, what do I have on my calendar tomorrow?
You bastard.
Through Thursday. And then on Friday, I'm going to be doing this.
You do have a busy calendar because you got, what do you call those miniature things?
Kids.
Well, kids. Yeah. You do have things going on. Wapple ain't got nothing going on. Look at the friggin' guy.
That's why I do bar gigs, try to make friends.
That was great. That was actually, I'll remember that until the end of this week. I will.
Do you have anything going on later this week?
Trading movies. Well, you've never seen The Goonies. God help us.
NWO Jesus said, Wappo, if you want to watch The Jerk, all you need is that recliner. Oh, and then you're going to need your remote control and your beverage of choice, and that's all he needs. Oh, and a weed stick, and that's it. That's all he needs.
And that's snacky. You need a snacky.
Dog Day Afternoon. That's another one I go after you for. Listeners are texting in now. They remember all these conversations. These are bright people. I don't care what Ashley says. These are bright people that we have listening to our program, Josh.
Ashley needs to see Young Frankenstein, too.
Yeah, that's a big one that I need to see.
Oh, you'd love it.
So does Dana, if he hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, my God.
Dana, that's right in your wheelhouse.
That is ridiculous.
Oh. boy.
Just ridiculous.
There's what's that old Irish movie with the guy from Walking Dead in it?
The old Irish movie.
Which guy from The Walking Dead?
The guy with the crossbow.
Oh yeah, that's in. Oh my God!
Because I don't think Nick has seen that.
Old Irish
Boondock
movie.
Saints.
Yes, Boondock Saints.
That is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
I've been getting my chops busted over Boondock Saints since the show first aired. Josh and I back in 1999, I think. Even if the Boondock Saints hadn't come out at that point, I was getting my chops busted for not seeing it.
There's a movie coming out in 2 years.
You're tough to predict, though, because sometimes you like some really bad movies that like Bring It On or something like that nobody would expect. And there's other times there's some movies that everybody likes and you can't stand. It's difficult to predict what you're going to like and what you're not going to like.
I'm brilliant. That's what it is.
Is that what it is?
You're having a hard time figuring me out like Christian Ponder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll figure that ISIS out.
You don't understand me because I'm above. Bring It On. Oh, God. But my heart rate escalated when you said Bring It On. What else did you say there, Josh? What was the other example you used?
Well, there's other movies that most people really liked that you can't stand.
Right. Like, what was that one?
Well, there's a couple. Get Out. You didn't like that one.
Absolute garbage pile.
Super Troopers. You hated that one.
Garbage pile.
Iron Claw.
Garbage pile. All right, maybe I'm a little different, Josh. Maybe I'm a little different.
Well, you're tough to predict, I think, sometimes.
Well,
for example, John Wick, awesome movie. A lot of people texting on that saying, "Hey, he's never watched it."
No,
but I couldn't. I don't know if you'd like that or not. To be honest,
Never saw it.
I could see either way.
I just liked creating the static between myself and John Wick fans for no good reason. I just started saying he's the biggest sissy that ever lived, and it turned into a thing. But no, never tried the John Wick Convoy. People are texting in. Yes, that's another one. I pressed that a lot on people. Convoy.
It's a great movie.
That'd be great if Nick watches John Wick and he just absolutely loves it.
Well, we were talking yesterday about what was it? Celebrity worship syndrome.
Yeah.
Watch me go watch. Watch me go watch.
I kind of do now.
Eventually, maybe I will watch one of the John Wick movies and I'll come to work on Monday dressed exactly like him. Yeah.
You were like that with Game of Thrones. When you started watching it, you came in here talking as if you were a character on Game of Thrones.
I couldn't help it. It was infectious the way they talked. Yeah. Yeah, we had fun with that for a while, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
You even referred to yourself, or maybe I referred to you, I can't remember, as Josh from, what was your Game of Thrones name again?
I can't remember.
Lord Josh.
It was Josh of Lord Covington.
It was something like that.
Lord Josh of Cubbingshire? Anyway, we had fun with Game of Thrones.
That's when I grew my beard Beardsley, back during the Game of Thrones times.
Yeah, there's good times. They're out there. You just got to find them. All right, there we go. We ought to get going for real skis. My God, it got warm in here. I'm going to have to... It's first day of spring, for God's sake. What am I doing? Why am I wearing all these clothes on the first day of spring? See Willie Miles coming in later?
Tomorrow. He'll be in tomorrow.
Is there someone coming in later with cheeseburgers?
Yes, sir.
All right, keep an ear out for that. We got someone coming in later with cheeseburgers. And WWE damn Raw tickets are your chance at that. We'll take a break. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the Just Capital seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 for ongoing commitment to their workers, with initiatives like Sharing Success, which awarded 97% of their teammates additional compensation, nearly all in stock. This is the program's 7th consecutive year, awarding more than $4.8 billion in total. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The Irish Navy. A fierce group, I'm sure. Cubby, are you and I Irish enough to enlist in the Irish Navy?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, that's the majority of my lineage, but maybe they want you to be full-blooded.
Probably. You know what's going to work against me also is I'm not. By damn, I'll go ahead and admit it. I am not a strong swimmer.
Oh.
Yeah, I can float for a little bit, but that's about it.
We'd be floaters. That's what we'd be.
Maybe I'd be the shark bait. I'll save everyone else just by being the slowest swimmer.
There you go.
Throw in the shark. I can't do an Irish accent. The Irish Navy. I'm sure they're a hell of a crowd, but the locals over there in Ireland aren't too proud of the Irish Navy today. All because of something that went down over the weekend, last weekend. Now, the Irish Navy, don't you know, only has but one ship. It's called the George Bernard Shaw, named after a famous author, apparently.
Playwright.
Playwright? Have you read the works of George Bernard Shaw?
Well, I can't say that I'm an aficionado.
Okay.
But I'm familiar.
All right. They've got one ship in the Irish Navy, the George Bernard. And they got a call last weekend. There was a call for the Irish Navy to help with a drug bust. They were looking for the ship to intercept a delivery of cocaine off the coast of a town called Cork in Ireland. The police have been working round the clock trying to shut down this smuggling ring. And the word is here, drug smugglers dump packages of cocaine that are stuffed into waterproof containers. They dump it into the ocean. There's tens of millions of dollars worth of cocaine dumped into the ocean, and I'm guessing someone else goes on over there and picks it up, and that's how the smuggling works. That's how the deal works. So the cops have been busting their balls trying to get a handle on this. They call the Irish Navy. Can you send the George Bernard Shaw out to help with the... But the George Bernard Shaw Irish Navy group said no.
You're on your own, suckers.
And the cop said, well, what do you mean no? There's a big... What are you guys up to? Well, last weekend was St. Patrick's Day weekend, and the crew of the George Bernard Shaw were out drinking.
There's no one sober, sorry.
Yeah, so they said no. We're at the pub.
We're either drunk or violently hungover.
Shattering that Irish stereotype.
And so the police said, well, what the F is the problem over there? The cops had to instead call some team of divers to help them out, who probably wanted nothing to do with this. The team of divers probably said, well, did you try the folks at the George Bernard? Yeah, we tried them. They said, no, they're out drinking. Well, we're just divers. Well, you got it. So that's the problem. The Irish Navy was on call, and they finally had something productive and meaningful to do, and they couldn't make it because they're chasing skirts and drinking beer.
We got this one ship. Oh, yeah, we can't use it today, sorry.
That's what's shocking. I didn't think any nation would have only one active ship in their navy. You can't even call that a navy, can you?
Well, you
I
can
wouldn't
call
think
it
so.
a navy, but you can't call it a naval fleet because there is no fleet.
Yeah.
So that's the story I read. Maybe there's a better explanation for why the ship wasn't available other than everyone was just out drinking. But that's the way a lot of the locals took it, and they're very frustrated that the Navy, number one, has been reduced to just one stinking boat, and that when they finally got a phone call, they said no. Chalk it up to bad timing, I guess, Cubby.
Some people are saying that the boat was part of the festivities, so that's kind of why it was.
They painted it green, and they were dancing girls and unicorns and whatever. I don't know. What do they do in Ireland? What's that instrument I hate so much again?
Bagpipes?
The bagpipes were blaring, yeah. That's hilarious. Doesn't sound so bad to be a member of the Irish Navy.
No, sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like you go to a lot of parades and everything.
Because, when I hear from folks around these parts, I know some guys and gals who are in the Navy, I often say, phew, that sounds tough. It doesn't sound so tough to be in the Irish Navy.
The majority of my mom's side were seamen. They were involved in the Navy. Yeah. I have one cousin who's a giant, and he was on a submarine, and I have no idea how he did that. No clue.
Those things are very cramped.
I went on a retired submarine, like you could at a naval base there, and then also an aircraft carrier. And at, barely 5'9", it was uncomfortable for me. I have no idea how anybody taller can handle something like that.
I can't handle submarine movies because I get secondhand claustrophobia from
Oh, really? Just a movie?
Yeah.
There's people in Mexico and stuff like that. They're making their own submarines. They put the drugs on it and then they send it to America. It's crazy.
I also know a guy who was a seaman. He was a submarine guy, and I'm sure you've heard this kind of thing before, but we can't get him to go to a strip joint because he says, after what I experienced at strip joints around the world, going port to port in that submarine, he says, there ain't a damn thing in town that could thrill me.
Yep, I've heard that same thing.
You can't handle submarine movies? What about that? What was that called?
Hunt for Red October?
No, never saw it.
Oh, my gosh. Dude,
really?
that's a movie I think you'd love.
I know.
Yes.
I get
that
yelled
shocks
at.
me.
The submarine movie I was going with was a U-Boat Part 6.
U-571?
U-577?
With Bon Jovi?
Yeah, John Bon Jovi. He's terrible. Well, you don't have to put up with him for very long. He gets killed right away.
Yeah, he's barely in there.
Matthew McConaughey and Harvey Keitel, and how do you call it? Bill Paxton.
Never saw it.
There's an old saying that goes, you can't drink all day unless you what?
Start in the morning.
And that's true. Some can handle drinking all day. Unfortunately, some cannot.
It's a marathon, not a race.
You know how you can tell that you're not built for all-day drinking? When you find yourself finger-banging on the sidewalk in front of a Popeye's chicken restaurant in broad daylight.
Ooh.
I meant to say it's a marathon, not a sprint, by the way, before people text in.
I didn't hear.
Because I said it's not a marathon, it's a race.
A marathon
but
is technically a race.
Is a race, yeah.
I heard you, and I think well.
I think maybe I just knew what you meant enough
Yeah.
that I didn't pick up on that you screwed it up.
We knew.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
It's going to be okay. A guy-girl couple was arrested in Florida this past Saturday for having sex on the sidewalk in front of a Popeye's chicken restaurant, and like I said, it was daytime hours. So they were just crushing gear in plain view of cars driving by and folks walking in and out the restaurant. That's nasty. A cop who was on the job just driving down the road spotted the two of them bumping. He noticed the dude was, quote, making a thrusting motion while on top of the gal.
That's how it works.
Broad daylight right there. When the cop broke it up, he found out the dude was a fella called Arnold Mackey, who was 70 years old. His drunken F-buddy was a gal named April White, who was 44 years old. Word. There was another motorist who called 911 after seeing these two. They said that they, quote, did a double take because they couldn't believe what they were seeing. That's very funny. Hey, Popeye's chicken got a hell of a lot. What the hell is that? The witness said, quote, the female had her legs spread open, and the male was inserting his fingers in full view of traffic. The cop on the scene said that when he peeled the two of them apart, Mackey, the guy, was flustered. He was unable to fully pull his shorts up, which left his penis exposed to oncoming traffic.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Good thing there was a road sign there that said, watch for penises and oncoming traffic.
That's embarrassing, Wapple?
Right? That's the embarrassing part.
That he couldn't
That's the
stuff
first time it became embarrassing?
Yep. He's, I shouldn't have done that part.
He couldn't get his rod back in his pants, yeah. The gal, again, her name April, she's the one who really gave day drinkers a bad name. She couldn't keep it together. She flipped out. She claims, this is hilarious, she claimed that she had done nothing wrong when being arrested. She dumped all different kinds of terrible insults on the cop while he was arresting her. The police found 4 empty bottles of vodka and an unopened bottle of rum laying around the scene. After being read his rights, Mackey, the dude, he reportedly said it was not his intention to expose himself. He put the blame on his lady.
Ugh.
It was her fault that they found themselves effing on the sidewalk, and he said that he would, quote, apologize to the judge. So these two idiots are still in jail, and they'll get their day in court. Man, what a sight I bet that was.
Yeah, I think the motorists who said they did a double take, that's understandable, because you'd think there's no way. No way that's happening.
I'll tell you what, Arnold must be a charismatic guy.
He looks cool.
He does. He's 70.
He looks good for 70, that's for sure.
He does. And his gal, 44, again, word, she looks much younger than 44.
I agree.
Especially when you consider that she spends her days drinking 4 bottles of vodka on the sidewalk in front of Popeye's chicken restaurant. You'd think she'd look a little more worn down than she looks great. They're a good-looking couple. I guess if you're going to encounter a couple having sex in broad daylight out front of the chicken fast food, that's the couple that I would pick.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It could be worse, for sure.
Oh, it could have been so much worse.
You know how sometimes maybe you see a crime or you see something concerning, maybe you call the cops and then you let them know what's going on and you're on your way to work and you just keep going to work? I think in this case I'd stop and say, well, I'm just going to wait and make sure the cops get here and get the right people. As I pull out my cell phone to record for later.
Well, maybe you get tagged in.
Boy, I don't know if I could handle that kind of heat.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. Here's someone asking me. I'm guessing they're asking me about April, the female involved in this roadside daytime hours bang out. You picked him, you dropped him up. Jesus, on a scale of 1 to 10, would you? Yeah, 10. Yeah. This April girl is a pretty lady. I don't care if people see me banging out front of Popeye's Chicken in Florida. I don't know anybody in Florida. Well, I guess I know one guy, but he wouldn't care. All right, let's try another one of these here and see how you like it. It's another story of a man and his pee-pee. A dude in Thailand got rushed off to the hospital after he forced his little pecker into 11 separate penis rings. Do you see what I'm saying there?
Impressive.
Yeah, wow.
It was just strangling the poor thing to death. So he went in for some help. 11 separate rings he wrapped around his wad.
How thick are those usually?
I don't even know what we're talking about, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I guess.
What are you asking?
I was just wondering, like how many he can put on there.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
Is this impressive?
I think I have a 3-ring penis, not an 11-ring one.
It's like
Not even like the Olympics, Josh? Not even 4 of them?
No, just the 3.
Yeah, see, the reason I don't understand the question is I don't know what rings we're talking about. It just says 11 separate rings.
I saw a picture of some cut-up rings, but I don't know if it was just, if these are the exact ones they used or if they just, had a picture laying around.
C rings, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Like the ones you buy in the store? Yeah, these weren't C rings. I think he just had a pocket full of rings or something. You know what I mean? So this is another case of some wacky sumbitch trying to have the ultimate orgasm, or God knows what he was going for. But the guy's dong he had 11 rings on his dong swole up like it was Scott Steiner. And the poor dude actually passed out, which is funny.
Yeah.
It says here the guy had a hard time explaining the whole story to his doctors.
You know what's great? Those doctors didn't need the explanation. They just want to hear him say it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, tell us this again. Hey, Donnie, get in here. Yeah. He's going to tell us again.
Now, please, in your own words, if you would.
It was really nothing to be concerned about, after all. It wasn't. Because all the doctors had to do to correct things, all they had to do was drain all the blood from his penis.
Oh.
And then get out a saw. It was no big deal, Ashley. All they had to do was drain all the blood from his penis and then get out a saw.
I think if I saw the saw, then the blood would drain right out.
Yep.
That's all I'd need. Yep. Just the thread.
It just instantly gets smaller, and then those rings just pop off.
I mean, you hear about this stuff more and more, things getting stuck certain places. Do they have a class in doctor school? All right, here's some things that might get stuck in butts. Here's things that might get stuck on someone's penis. This is how you handle a situation like this.
Probably.
I think it's an extra class you have to take.
It's got some sort of elective?
Yeah.
An erective?
Yeah, you sign up for it.
I think you're right, Josh. I think they do and that's a great question, but I think you're right. I think they do cover this in medical school. All the different insane items that you might have to pull off or out of somebody.
That's got to be everyone's favorite class, right?
Well, it'll surely...
Oh, I think that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Entertain the crowd. It's a lot more fun than probably learning about, God knows all the other boring things that happen.
Definitely keep your attention.
The boring things that doctors have to learn about. And speaking of boring doctors, next week, maybe the week after, we'll talk to Dr. P. Jesus here on the Half-Fast Morning Show.
Snooze fest.
Yeah. 11 different one ringy dingy. Do you think he said that, Josh? Along 2 ringy dingies?
As they cut them off, that'd be great.
3. Here's maybe someone who knows what they're talking about. Manufacturing equipment maintenance technician Jesus. Jesus is how you say it. A listener. I'll just go ahead with that. A listener texted in to say that information is covered in residency. Residency? Yeah, that's a doctoring word. Do you know what that means?
So I would think, right? Mm-hmm. But I also would hope if I ever find myself in that situation, and there is a dry spell where if it's long enough, I could get in that situation. I'd want to know that the guy holding the saw knows what he's doing, he or she.
Not his first time.
I'll tell you what. Dude, here's one for you. A Buddhist temple, meth rocks, and instant death by impalement. That's what I got cooking here for you. A dude apparently went on a meth rocks rampage in a temple in Thailand. And he ended up killed dead when he impaled himself on what they call here the spiked head of a Buddhist statue.
Oh,
I'll tell you what happened. It's a hell of a deal. The dude, who more or less checked himself out, is a 49-year-old fella called Eck. Eck is his name. Folks who hang out there at the temple said that Eck had been staying there with his friend, a cat named Best, who is a monk. Best is a monk. Eck is his bro. Eck comes and hangs out at the temple once in a while. That's how they operate. One morning here a few days ago, Eck woke up and jacked down a hell of a lot of that meth and just started running buck wild around the temple like a damn jackass. He even beat his buddy Best over the top of the dome with a fluorescent light bulb, like the two of them were in a late 90s ECW hardcore match. That's two wrestling references in the stew. For whatever reason, he just walks up, "Appa!" and cracks a, what did I say it's called, Josh, again? A fluorescent light bulb over his buddy's head. That's how crazy this guy was on the meth rocks. Then later on, the cops found Eck, deader than Derringer, impaled on a Buddha statue. The cops said they think that Eck had climbed up onto the tallest statue in the room and then slipped and fell onto the smaller statue's pointed tip ski.
Oh, dude.
Son of a bastard.
That is unlucky.
Yeah.
Buddha statue.
I thought a Buddhist temple was a place of, I only know from movies, but I thought it was a place of peace and quiet. This story makes it sound more like a Norwegian death metal party or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody got any meth? No. What do you think? We're at a Buddhist temple or something? Just because someone is pimping Jesus on their clothing doesn't mean they're not garbage human beings. Police in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma are looking for a puke bag who was caught on camera assaulting a gas station clerk. According to the local police department, an unknown suspect wearing a Jesus Saved My Life hoodie and another clown walked into the store and tried to buy a cigar. When the clerk asked to see an ID, the Jesus Saved My Life dork couldn't handle such a demand, and he lost his cool. "Can I see some ID?" "What did you just say to me?" And that's when he went ahead and knocked the clerk smooth out.
Bit of an overreaction, I guess.
Some people run hot.
Some people really do get so angry when they get ID'd. I learned that when I used to work in the service industry, and I don't get why. Like, I have to. It's not me choosing to do that.
Yeah, it is weird that folks don't understand that.
Like, that's
just
kind of the
what
point.
you have to do.
Yeah.
You don't want to get shut down.
Does it take 3 seconds to take your license out?
Yeah. It's not my fault you put it in a difficult pocket.
So 2 scumbags, one of them knocks the clerk out at the gas station. Both derelicts are then seen on video running out of the store. Out of the store, not the story. I'm reading you a story. Both derelicts are then seen running out of the store like real men do, right, Josh?
Yep. It's the courage that's impressive.
So anyway, local cops are trying to find this plug. Both plugs. Effing Bible bangers have changed, Cubby.
Well, I wonder if he just stole the sweatshirt off another person whose life was saved by Jesus.
You know, Jesus saved my life. I took a nap. I woke up. My hoodie's gone. You know,
Jesus giveth, dirtbag takes it away.
Jesus saved my life, and all I got was this hoodie.
I'll be damned. All right. Now, this one here, you might have had to have been, how do I say it again? You might have had to be there. But I'm going to go for it anyway. And maybe some of you were all over this when it happened. You know, some of you social media dorks that we have here in the room. A supposedly famous singer by the name of Cecilia Selena Mercado, otherwise known as Ceci, was part of a viral video recently. Do any of you already know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yes.
No, I haven't heard this one.
Josh, you know what I'm talking about?
Well, yeah, I think you know I know. Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, because I meant, did you see it on social media?
No, not on social media. I've seen the original story before this follow-up.
Okay. Ceci, supposedly a famous singer, was part of a viral video recently. Word is she and some clown in her passenger seat were stopped by the cops in a motor vehicle in Florida. Ceci, the driver, was driving around town with fake diplomatic plates. But when the cops tried to haul her in for that, she and the dork in her passenger seat, who were high on entitlement, in my opinion, claimed that they were immune to the laws here in the United States because of some nonsense. They claimed that Ceci couldn't be arrested because she's not an American citizen. I mean, you guys know that song and dance by now.
Diplomatic community.
There are people nowadays who claim that they don't have to recognize the laws like the rest of us because they're special in one way or another. But anyway, so a short time after, they eventually take Ceci to jail. A short time after she left jail, police pulled over the same car that she was in and arrested the driver for the same offense.
You're reaching inside our vehicle. I feel threatened. I feel threatened. I feel threatened.
He feels threatened.
Oh, my
Sure sounds like it.
Dude.
What a dork.
So when she leaves jail, someone picks her up in the same car. And the cops arrested that driver for the same offense, having fake-ass diplomatic plates. Now, that's just the cops being dicks, right? I dig it.
I hope so.
I do.
Yeah, I like that too.
You know, I'm guessing the cops' approach was, you want to waste our time? We can do just as good a job of wasting your time. That's my guess on their approach.
Yep.
And I don't think they helped themselves very much with their attitudes. That's I think, was probably the exact reason why this happened again.
Oh, man. Ceci, or whatever her name is. Yeah, like I said, she left the cop shop down there in the same car, apparently with a different set of phony plates on it. They had 2 sets of phony plates. Oh, well, the first set got busted. Get out the second set.
Get out the backup plates.
Dummies.
The cops had to bust the driver's side window out this time because the driver, whoever he was, refused to roll down the window. And again, if you ask me, this is a case of just mind-altering entitlement right here. Don't you know that we're a big deal? You know, kind of an attitude. Officers had to take the driver down to the ground and arrest him. He faces all kinds of charges. And the dude, who I think you just heard in Josh's audio, the dude behind the wheel said, when the local television news cameras were on him, he said, "They tried to kill me." No, they didn't, dude. Cops pulled multiple guns out of the car and impounded the vehicle. So this Ceci gal, this is the first I've heard of her. Apparently she's a famous singer. She has yet to explain why she claims diplomatic immunity. Nobody knows really what she's talking about. She was born in New York. She's still sticking to this story that her plates are legit. The cops say that's not true. I mean, you never know these days. Is she just nuts? Is this her way to try and gain some steam on social media? Because as you already know, there's nothing some people won't do to become a somebody for even just 24 hours.
Yep.
So I don't really get it. I feel threatened. I feel threatened. In case you didn't hear me the first 2 times, I want to make it very clear. I feel threatened.
I like that guy.
Sounds good, bro.
Dude, we get it.
How annoying. If I was the cop, he gets the taser. If you're able to do something like that.
Oh, man, it's got to be tough.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Boilermakers, Bobcats, Bears, Bison, and Badgers. You got a pair of Dukes, Spartans, Gales, Flyers, and Lancers. Golden Eagles, Golden Grizzlies, Crimson Tide, Red Raiders, Blue Jays, Blue Devils, Cyclones, and Gators. Huskies, Hatters, 5 Bulldogs, Antelopes, Jackrabbits, and Horned Frogs. Cowboys, 2 Aggies, Longhorns, Broncos. 34 down, 34 to go. 4 Cougars, Catamounts, Cornhuskers, Cavaliers, Ducks, Owls, Eagles, Hilltoppers, the Volunteers, Tar Heels, Blazers, Raiders, Rams, and Jayhawks, Fighting Illini, Aztecs, and Peacocks. 3 Wildcats, 3 Tigers, Lobos, the Beach Seahawks, Gamecocks, Buffaloes, Wolfpack, twice the Zips, that's it. Write them down, fill out your brackets. It's March Madness.
That's always one of my favorite songs, Cubby.
I like that bit.
Cute.
I could listen to it. By God, I could over and over and over again.
We'll update that as it goes on.
It's a sure sign. Is that what the guy does? Does he edit out the teams as they get eliminated, or you do that?
No, he does.
He does.
Yeah, between once we get down to 16 and all that kind of stuff, or 32, 16, he'll go do some new ones.
I never noticed that. I really didn't. And now I feel terrible because I love the song. It always puts me in the vibe for the NCAA basketball tournament. There are a couple of those play-in games tonight, so this is, the official beginning. tonight on True TV. Anyone have that? I don't know if I have that.
I believe you do. Yeah.
True TV, Wagner and Howard at 5:40 in the p.m., followed by Colorado State and Virginia. These are the first of 4, I think, play-in games for the damn tournament.
Every March Madness, I have to re-look up what channel True TV is. Because that's the only time I really ever fire it up.
I'll find it. I will. If I find it before you, I'll call you.
Thank you.
There you go. We got much more to cover here in about a half hour with Randy Shaver. Randy Shaver is going to stop by in about a half hour. I don't want to talk yet about Anthony Edwards' dunk. I don't. I want to save it for Randy Shaver.
Oh, my goodness.
I want to save it for Randy Shaver. I want to save that conversation. I hope you don't mind. All you got to do is come back in a half hour, but I know you're not going anywhere because you've been listening to Josh's news report. I'll just tell you this much. Local 322, if you don't know about Anthony Edwards' dunk last night in the Wolves game against the Utah Jazz, all you got to hear is the words from a listener who texted in, local 322 Carpenter Jesus. He texted last night at 10:30 p.m. about it. He had to. He texted the program, even though most of us are out cold. But he said, I got to text in and say, this is advice for anybody today. If you feel tired at all this morning, just cue up Anthony Edwards dunking on John Collins on repeat and let the adrenaline flow through your veins.
The cops are looking into charges for attempted murder.
Shattering. Just shattering. And we'll get into it.
He might be in some trouble.
We'll get into it a little bit later. Yeah, he could be arrested for that. What's going on tonight? Other than the play-in games? Well, the Wolves, who won last night in Utah, they got to play tonight at home against friggin' Denver. So that's not going to be easy, for Christ's sake. Denver, they're getting better, it seems, as the season goes on. Golden Gopher basketball playing in the NIT, National Invitational Tournament. 8 o'clock tonight against Butler. I dig that. Pigs, 9 o'clock.
Oof.
That's so stupid. Put us in the Eastern Conference, for Christ's sake, and do the same thing with the Wolves. The Wild are at Anaheim tonight, 9 o'clock on ESPN Plus or Hulu or something. I don't know. Randy Shaver in a half hour. Josh's News is next.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
Business has always been about turning a profit, making money. But can it stand for something more? Something beyond dollars and cents? We think so. We think that today, business has a higher calling, a purpose to be fair and just, to do right by their workers, customers, communities, and the environment. And it turns out companies successful doing that also do better for their bottom line. When you see the Just Capital seal, it means this company is a force for good. Visit justcapital.com to learn more.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
When you're 16, 17, 18 years old, you're not expecting a grown man to get out and just start attacking you, especially, as a female. It's scary. And some of that stuff, even though they don't have injuries, they're still going to be mentally scarred.
In an unintentionally ironic situation, an Alabama man started a road rage-fueled fight at a gas station in Florida, Niceville, Florida. 40-year-old Thomas Keebler wasn't so nice, however, when he attacked 3 teenagers at a gas station following some sort of road rage incident.
He was tailgating them, passing them aggressively, made some gestures as he passed them, then attempted to brake check them.
Surveillance footage shows Keebler blocking the teen's Kia at a pump. Once the targeted kids got out of their vehicle, Keebler became more aggressive, eventually getting violent, even shoving a teenage girl who got out of the Kia.
He became enraged and couldn't control his temper, and it got out of hand fast and ended up shoving a girl to the ground and putting the other gentleman in a headlock and hitting him several times.
She ran to help as Keebler threw her friends to the ground and continued beating them. A man the girl called over intervened and calmed things down. Then Keebler, who apparently already has multiple brushes with law enforcement in the past year alone, took off.
We've ticketed him for speeding and for running a stop sign just in our county in the last 4 months. Previous to that, he's been charged with DUI, making terrorism threats, battery, possession of cocaine. He's not unfamiliar to law enforcement. He's going to end up running into somebody someday that isn't afraid to protect themselves.
Cops caught up to him, and he's now facing charges for battery and child abuse.
So there's no age limit on road rage.
So
Not for
messed
this
up.
guy.
Poor kids. That
This
must have
guy
been
sounds
terrifying.
like a friggin' puke.
The brake checking thing I've never quite understood, you know, especially if you feel you're dealing with a bad driver. I don't understand. Why risk it?
I agree.
You already feel like the person behind you might be a terrible driver. I don't get that one too much. This next story also takes place at a gas station, but features less punches and more penis.
Yes.
23-year-old Damian Newman refused to leave a Shell gas station in Nashville in the early hours of March 11th. When detectives arrived, Newman was outside of the Shell, fully naked and hammered.
I'm not leaving till somebody gets a look at my penis.
Cops asked him where his clothes were, but he had no response. The naked Newman was nabbed for public indecency and public intoxication.
Yeah, there you go. That's one way to do it, right, Cubby?
Yeah, just wanted to get drunk and show off his stuff. In a remarkable story of quick thinking and courage, a school bus driver demonstrated extraordinary bravery as she led 9 children to safety after spotting smoke coming from under her bus.
I seen smoke, and then while the girl come and tell me the bus is on fire underneath, as soon as I seen the bus smoking, my instinct was, get them off the bus.
The New Orleans woman was about to make her 5th stop on her route with K through 8th grade students when the potentially deadly incident occurred. After getting the children far enough away from the bus, she returned to double-check no one else was inside right before it raged into an inferno.
I turned the bus off. By the time I turned the bus off and got off the bus blew up.
The 28-year-old, who's been driving school buses for 3 years, said she believes a faulty alternator started that fire.
F me running.
Yeah, mom instincts kicked in, she said. A Florida sheriff's office had some fun after a culprit who placed a for sale sign on one of their deputies' patrol cars. It's pretty funny. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office posted a photo of the white Ford on Facebook yesterday, saying they were disappointed in the minimal interest in the vehicle. Despite its high mileage and idling hours, this baby has lots of life left and plenty of stories to tell. This car's been through it all and keeps on going, the Sheriff's Office wrote. The post added that while the car doesn't have that much legroom, it's no problem since real friends sit up front anyway. While the patrol car isn't actually for sale, the sheriff's office said they got a chuckle out of whoever placed the sign on the windshield. We got a kick out of whoever put that for sale sign up there, even though we really would prefer if you not mess with our vehicles. Have a great Monday, the post read. After putting the photo on Facebook, the sheriff's office drew in hundreds of comments from people praising the officials for not taking the joke too seriously.
It's a pretty solid bit.
Yeah, it's a good bit.
Yeah.
You ever do that to your buddy, you know, who crashes on the couch, you know, got drunk, crashes on the couch at your place? You ever sneak out and put a for sale sign on their car?
No.
No.
It's good times.
Do you put, like, including a phone number?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Do you put any details or, you know?
If you have the time, yeah.
Like half a cheeseburger in the back or something?
If you have the time, you can get creative, but sometimes it's just fun to watch your hungover friend wake up in the morning and come out to see that his car is for sale.
A couple weeks back, I walked out to a cardboard sign underneath my windshield wiper that my stepson had placed there saying douchebag. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's great.
That's good stuff.
This has been here for a while. People are going to know I'm a douchebag. In a bizarre case of insurance fraud, a college student in Taiwan attempted to pull off a shocking scheme involving amputation to cash in on a hefty insurance payout. It didn't work. The 23-year-old, identified only by his surname Zhang, plunged his feet into a bucket of dry ice for over 10 hours to get them so badly frostbitten he'd need double amputation.
What?
Police say a friend from high school persuaded him to carry out the insurance scam. That friend, identified only as Lau, lost big from trading cryptocurrency and tricked Zhang into signing a legal notice requiring him to pay about $800,000 and told Zhang gangsters were after him because of all the crypto he lost. Right before the dry ice plunge, Lau and Zhang rode around on a motorcycle all night to pretend Zhang was afflicted with frostbite while riding the vehicle in the late evening. Then, after the ride, Zhang soaked his feet in dry ice before heading to a hospital. Right away, medical staff sensed something was amiss. His leg bore no shoe or sock marks, and his injuries appeared symmetrical, which were inconsistent with the naturally occurring frostbite injuries, investigators said. Plus, the weather that night was nowhere close to freezing. Zhang's legs were amputated due to his frostbite injuries.
No, they weren't.
They were. But his case was reported to the authorities, who soon learned just days before the incident he bought several expensive insurance policies, of which only one paid $7,200 due to suspicions about the injuries, and even that $7,200 was seized immediately. Here in the States, the FBI estimates an annual $400 to $700 from the average U.S. family's insurance premiums go to covering the cost of insurance fraud.
So you're telling me there's a young kid, where are they at?
This was in Taiwan.
Who has his legs are off.
They're gone.
Because he was trying to make some kind of money off an insurance scam.
Yeah. And,
how would that ever be worth it?
And he got talked into it by a friend. The friend was going to take the majority of the payout somehow.
How can this seem fair? How can this be possible?
Everyone knows you can get an STD after a drunken night of getting nailed. But picking up herpes from getting your nails done is a risk most people never consider.
Oh, heck no.
A 23-year-old Oregon woman claims in a recently filed lawsuit she contracted herpes while receiving a manicure. The lawsuit, which is seeking nearly $2 million, alleges a nail tech didn't wear gloves and stored drill bits in a tin Altoids box.
I'd probably walk out at that point.
If you notice that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd think twice about that.
That's sketchy.
She said she began to feel ill and had swelling around 2 fingers immediately after the manicure. Then blisters began forming around her fingers, and a test came back positive for genital herpes on her fingers. The woman didn't have herpes before going to the salon, but she definitely did afterward.
I couldn't bump my finger into anything. I couldn't use it. I couldn't type well. It felt tender to the touch. It seemed harmless until it wasn't.
The lawsuit also states the nail salon violated state standards for not properly disinfecting tools, and the owners were negligent when they failed to properly train their technicians.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah, she said she's pretty embarrassed by it.
I probably wouldn't talk about it online. I'd probably just keep that one to myself.
Well, but isn't she about to make some money here, John?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, you'd tell people if you can make a few bucks. We know you better than that.
Yeah, we're talking possibly $2 million.
$2 million?
Yeah.
I'll take herpy hands for $2 million. I will.
Give you herpy hands.
Someone spit on my hands that has herpes.
I got you.
Officials say while rare, herpes can be transmitted during a manicure. A Colorado woman won over $3 million when she contracted herpes during a manicure.
I thought you were going to say she was going to get a gift card or something like that.
To go back to the same lady.
That next one's free.
I don't know what she'll get, but she's trying to get $2 million.
I'll be damned.
A customer shopping inside a North Carolina Walmart store accidentally discharged their gun when they bent over to grab some items. Officers.
It's a hell of a fart, someone might have thought, you know what I mean?
Your fart just caused a hole in my arm. Officials were sent to a shots fired call at the store just before 8:30 p.m. Wednesday night. Police said a revolver the customer was carrying fell out of their holster to the floor, causing it to discharge into the ceiling. No one was injured as a result of the gun being discharged, with the only property damage being to the business. According to police, there was no criminal intent, but charges related to the negligent discharge are expected.
That is not cool.
A burglar is in custody after police say he broke into a home and fought with homeowners in West Seattle who, like in an old cartoon, used a frying pan to stop him. The Seattle Police Department said officers were called to the scene early on the morning of March 10th. The homeowners told police he heard glass breaking downstairs and saw a man he didn't know inside his home. When confronted, the suspect fought with the man and was forced outside. However, he eventually found his way back in and then fought with the woman's spouse, who used the frying pan to get him to leave.
That's something. He gets thrown out the house, he comes back in.
And then he came back a third time and made it to the second floor before he was held down by the homeowner with help from a neighbor.
Look, dude, once they kicked your ass out the house, just get out of there.
Yeah, that's crazy that he came back a second time, much less a third.
Too much pride in that one, Josh.
A man was arrested after being accused of making a bomb threat at the Pagefield Airport in South Fort Myers Thursday night. 64-year-old Greg Poole went up to the clerks and said he wanted to make a noise complaint about an aircraft flying over his home and spraying chemicals at him, he said.
Oh, sure.
He claimed he knew it was coming from the airport because he was tracking the plane. The report states Poole asked the clerks if they knew about an FBI building that had blown up. According to both clerks, Poole then said, if the plane doesn't stop flying over my house, you'll be next, before getting in his truck and driving away. Law enforcement found and arrested Poole at a Fort Myers motorcycle dealer called House of Trikes and Bikes.
There he was, hanging out at that joint, huh?
He's hanging out. It's H-A-U-S, by the way. Funky. House of Trikes and
Different.
Bikes. Disturbing details are emerging following an attack on a woman on the Oregon coast, including that her son allegedly stabbed her with a stake because he thought she was a vampire. 56-year-old Robert Poe stabbed his mother, 79-year-old Judy, with a wooden stake, believing that she was a vampire, and the instrument apparently was part of a broken gardening tool.
Knowing somebody that's, a psycho is out there doing that. We were all shocked. I couldn't believe that it happened in a small town like this,
Yeah, yes, you could.
He reportedly told deputies his mom was a vampire who often poked him at night in his sleep, and he'd often wake up with blood on his sheets. He said he had to stab her with the stake to protect himself. He's due back in court tomorrow.
I hate when your mom turns into a vampire.
It happens in front of that guy. After returning home from an extended vacation in Costa Rica, a Montreal man got the surprise of a lifetime in the mail. The Quebec government thinks he's dead.
I was laughing. I was like, wow, that's news to me.
In a 14-page letter from the Ministry of Justice, the government wrote it's hoping to collect money from Nick's estate for a speeding ticket.
Following the death of Futuro's Nick, we hereby inform you that a fine of $1,092 remains unpaid.
The problem is, Nick Futuros is very much alive. The 34-year-old said he's contesting a speeding ticket from 2022. He left for an extended vacation in Central America and just kind of didn't remember.
Completely forgot about it. Came back and I got this letter in the mail.
He tried to call the government to prove he's actually alive, but wasn't able to speak to anyone, saying he just wants to prove he's not a dead man walking. After local media attention, the Justice Ministry said the mix-up was a case of human error. The collector of fines mistakenly used a letter template used to correspond with an estate, rather than the one normally used to communicate with the defendant. We apologize for the situation, the email statement said. A spokesperson for the ministry said an appropriate follow-up will be made. They're still going to make him pay that ticket.
Don't you think, Josh, if you were assumed dead by, I don't know, I guess where I'm going with this is, in certain situations, wouldn't you go along with it just to see how things turn out?
Yeah, I wonder, are you immune from persecution at that point?
As long as your friends and family know you're alive, like say if, you go to Mills Fleet Farm a lot. If Mills Fleet Farm thought you were dead, wouldn't you kind of play along with it and just see how it turns out?
Every once in a while, I wonder if a restaurant thinks I'm dead. Like right now, I'm concerned what Jersey Mike's thinks about me because it's been a little while.
Oh, no.
And I've gone there so much.
I was thinking about you the other day. I was like, Josh hasn't brought up Jersey Mike's anymore. I wonder how the staff has taken it.
Well, yeah, it's because Chipotle brought back that El Pastor chicken. What's a guy supposed to do?
That stuff is so good.
It's good.
Never saw it.
Dubai is home to the world's tallest skyscraper. Nepal boasts Mount Everest. Minnesota has the 17th highest STD rate in the nation. And soon, if Jeremy Rockcliffe gets his way, Tasmania could be home to the world's largest chocolate fountain. The Tasmanian premier appeared to take inspiration from Willy Wonka by pitching himself to voters as the dreamer of dreams during a visit to the Cadbury Chocolate Factory, the largest in the Southern Hemisphere. Channeling the inner Wonka, Rockcliffe said that if re-elected this weekend, he will deliver the island state the world's largest chocolate fountain. The new chocolate experience would include the chocolate fountain, of course, a premium chocolate studio, a chocolate lab with make-your-own chocolate bars, a chocolate emporium, a cafe, a playground, and so much more, the premier said. Guinness World Records says the world's tallest chocolate fountain, at least right now, opened in 2019 and is owned by Austrian chocolatiers. The chocolate waterfall stands at 40 feet.
And who is this guy, and where is he going to put the new big one?
Tasmania.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he said, hey, if you elect me, here comes a chocolate fountain.
I want a chocolate fountain.
Today being the first day of spring, and per tradition, participating non-mall locations of Dairy Queen are celebrating its arrival with Free Cone Day. free small vanilla cones to guests with a limit of one per person.
I'll be dipped.
Free, well, you can't get that for free, but they do offer dipped cones there as well. Free Cone Day, spring tradition there at Dairy Queen. Birthdays today. Bruce Willis turns 69.
How's he doing?
It doesn't sound like he's doing great.
Yeah.
Hopefully things can be okay for a while for him. Happy 20th to Doppelganger Jesus from Dad, chasing that carrot Jesus. And before we get out of here, text MANIA, MANIA, to the Luther Bloomington Kia text line 651-989-9393. You could win tickets to Monday Night Raw, July 29th, just announced, when the WWE comes to the X, furnished by XL Energy Center. We appreciate that. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
He's a pay-per-view turd.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Edwards gets it back and threw it down from the rafters.
That was ridiculous.
Oh, my God. Hey, that was my best dunk of my career, I'm not going to lie. I didn't even react because I dislocated my finger. You see it? I couldn't react to it. I wish I could have reacted to it. I wish I could have. This is my first day wearing them, man. I got to use the pilot.
There we go. Here he is. Randy Shaver is here. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning.
We're going to talk about A1 from By God Day 1 here in just a few minutes. But it's that time of year again, Randy. We're lucky enough to get a visit for one of your bros. One of your bros is in studio.
Is that Troy?
It's Troy.
It is Troy.
Yeah.
From Rock Elm. Your free food hookup is here. Hi,
Your
Troy.
free hookup is
How's
here.
everybody doing today?
It's good to see you. This is a
Welcome
tradition
back.
now. Every March Madness, we get to see Troy from Rock Elm in Plymouth. And the Randy Burger is back.
The Randy Burger's back. We have a new one this year.
What are you putting on it this year?
Well, this year we're doing Texas toast smothered in some Montemore cheese crust. Then we'll grill that up, throw a burger on there, some cheddar, some Swiss, some candied pecan bacon.
Wow.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's a shaver cheeseburger.
The
Shaver Special.
Yes, sir.
This year's Shaver Special.
Who comes up with this?
Yeah.
My chefs do. You know, it's like we got to come up with something new, guys, and they do it.
Fancy.
Is Randy, you know, kind of? Do they even know who he is? Is he too old now?
Does anybody know him? Right?
Did they ever ask, well, what's so special about Randy? Why do we have to call it the Shaver Special?
Oh my God.
He does stop in and say hi once in a while, so
Sure.
we appreciate that.
Maybe a side of pudding to go with a bit we've been doing. What's a bit that's been happening on the show?
He usually gets the kids' plate with the applesauce.
Well, he likes to color.
Yes.
Gets out the crayons, starts coloring.
I take it away from my granddaughter, and I'm the one coloring.
Exactly. She's crying. Randy's
over
smiling.
there. He's doing the maze.
Played a lot of hangman on those little kids, kids things over there.
It's nice to have you back, Troy, and always nice to see you again. And so this year's Shaver Special is, as you just described. And where does the money go when folks swing by to buy one of Randy's burgers?
So we pair it up with Fulton Beer, and we appreciate our friends from Fulton here. And then $5 for every burger and beer we sell goes to the Shaver Foundation.
There you go. I'm looking at a picture of that burger right now, and it does look like a hell of a deal.
I brought some for you.
Oh, well, that's very nice.
As Ashley said, it looks fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a grilled cheeseburger.
That's exactly right.
Oh, Ashley called it fire?
Straight fire.
Can I use a Wapalism?
Oh, of course.
So you're not going to call me out for gimmick infringement?
No, you can use it this one time. This one time's free.
This sandwich F's.
What was the kind of cheese you put on the bread? A few people were curious what
It's Montemore. It's made by Sartori in Wisconsin. It's sort of like cheddar and parm. If they got married and had a baby, you'd have Montemore.
Now, these are listeners' words, not my own, but 2 pumps and a squeeze. Jesus wants to know the Randy Special. Does that also come with 2 Viagra for later? And I'd eat Ashley's skin tags. Jesus said if it's a Randy burger, shouldn't it be aged and bitter?
The cheddar is aged.
Man. So today through April 6th.
Yes, sir. The
Dine-in
3 weeks
only.
of the tournament. Dine-in only, yep.
That's right. All the way through the basketball tournament.
Correct.
Swing by Rock Elm and Plymouth, and where else are you at? If that is it?
We're only in Plymouth now,
Okay.
but we did expand our Plymouth store and put in some golf entertainment simulators. So we have some extra space. We're going to have the games on TVs, and it's going to be great.
Cool. The golf simulator, have you had anybody, knock themselves out yet or anything?
Break a club out of frustration?
We've already had a couple broken clubs.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious.
The young bucks come in there and have a tall beer and get all gutsy.
Boy, those are
taking it that
swinging
serious.
away.
Those are getting more and more popular, it seems like.
They're so much fun. I went and did something like that this weekend. Yeah, those are a lot of fun. That's exciting that you guys have those now.
Yeah, and they're multi-games, so you can shoot hoops, you can throw footballs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Disco?
Zombie dodgeball.
What was your question, Wapple?
What's
Disc
that?
golf?
Disco?
Disc golf.
Disc golf.
Disc golf.
Disc golf.
You know, yes, absolutely.
Oh, nice.
I was picturing, you turn on the music soundtrack to Saturday Night Fever. And
That's what I thought.
What was the zombie thing you said?
Zombie dodgeball.
Zombies.
So they're coming at you. You're throwing dodgeballs at them.
Dude.
Yep.
That sounds incredible.
That's hilarious.
It's a ton of fun. A few beers and, it's great.
That's awesome.
So,
well, thank you again, it's so great that you come in, and I'm sure the folks that are cooking, they don't want to get up this early, but they do for Randy Shaver and make all the burgers for us.
Yeah,
So
they have a great crew.
We really appreciate it. We're very grateful. Thank you.
I didn't even consider that you're getting the cooks up in the middle of the night to make us cheeseburgers. So, again, you swing by, you get the burger, you get a Fulton beer, and you're going to benefit Randy Shaver's Cancer Research and Community Fund. You guys have been partners on this for quite a poke.
Well, I think it's 9 years now, Randy.
Yeah, Troy and Rock Elm have been with us for quite a while, and Troy does a lot of other events. He was just at our football coaches party a couple of Sundays ago and helped us out with that. And so we're super appreciative of everything that Troy's done. At our golf event, those guys are out on the golf course as part of that as well. So I can't say enough great things about Troy and what they've done, and they help us raise a ton of money that obviously goes to cancer research and patient aid projects in Minnesota. So.
Troy, how did you react a couple weeks ago when you learned, like the rest of us did, that Randy was retiring? Did you think it's about time, like the rest of us did?
Well, yeah, it'd be nice to get some young blood on TV.
Yeah, you can find Channel 11 again.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, instead of looking and going, oh, that friggin' guy again. You get some young...
So some folks are checking in saying they're going to come out to Rock Elm and try it out. Some other people were saying, what was the restaurant again? Rock Elm in Plymouth. Somebody wants to know if you can drive the golf cart in the water on that simulator of yours.
During the tournament, I might have to get one set outside and a swimming pool full of water.
And, of course, since it's the Ass Man, a lot of people are excited about those buns you talked about.
Oh, yes. Special buns.
Fresh buns.
All right, stick around, Troy.
Please do.
Thank you.
We'll give folks a heads up again before we close this sumbitch up, but we got to talk about the Timberwolves, who were able to get by the Utah Jazz again last night. They won by 10, but we got to start with the dunk.
Unbelievable.
Pulled off by Anthony Edwards. I don't believe I have ever seen a guy jump as high and dunk as hard as A1 from day one dunked on a Jazz player by the name of John Collins last night. It was total annihilation. I mean, he shot up into the sky in the third quarter. If you weren't watching this, I was watching it live. I know the rest of you probably weren't, but I was watching it live, and I straight up dropped my beer. He eradicated John Collins.
And he's lucky he didn't hurt himself even more than he did.
Yes, he is.
He dislocated his finger doing that. They popped it, I think, back in place, but
Randy
it
Shaver,
reminded me a lot of KG. KG had a few of those during his time with the Timberwolves.
But the difference is KG was 7 foot tall. He didn't have to jump like that.
No, I totally get it. I just want to. It just reminded me of him, though, in watching just the way he gets up off the ground, just the wingspan, I guess.
Yeah, it reminded me of Vince Carter, Dominique Wilkins.
Yes.
It was, but simply, it was one of the most devastating poster dunks, as people call it, I have ever seen in my... I don't know if anybody else read this, but when John Collins woke up this morning, he realized he's pregnant.
I can understand.
I don't know if I'd go back in public if I were him after that dunk.
He was emasculated.
And it mangled Collins, I mean, on the way up, the reason Anthony Edwards' finger on his left hand got dislocated is because he poked Collins in the eye on the way up with his offhand.
Yeah.
And that Collins left the game, never came back.
I don't get this. Somebody in all caps said that was a layup, not a dunk. Are you sure you saw the right thing? You can see it on 93x.com.
Yeah,
Are you
that's
being
100% a dunk.
I mean, so Collins gets his eyeball poked out. And like you said, Randy Shaver, Edwards had to go back to the locker room real quick and get his finger put back into place before he shot a free throw. Collins gets his eyeball poked out, gets obliterated on the play, and gets a foul called on him. And also, I mean, if we can hear the call again, the call by Michael Grady is one of the best.
He just loses his mind.
From the rafters, he says.
Edwards gets it back and threw it down from the rafters.
That was ridiculous.
The faces of Edwards' Wolves teammates. Watch it over and over again. If you haven't noticed the facial expressions on the crowd, more so the Wolves bench. Kyle Anderson acted like he had just witnessed a car wreck.
Yeah.
I'll remember that until the day that I die. That was just
Gives you the chills every time.
Just terrific.
Reminds me of the many times that Kevin Harlan would do the goes up high, comes down hard, the high hard one. Yeah. With KG. I mean, Harlan had so many great, screaming descriptions of KG on some of those dunks that he would have. It reminded me a lot of that last night. Yeah, I mean, and then the most important part of everything last night is the Wolves won.
Yeah.
They win this game in Utah last night. They're actually tied with Denver, and they host the Nuggets tonight.
Jesus, they got to play the Nuggets tonight at home.
So without maybe Naz Reid, I'm not sure what Naz Reid's situation is heading into this game tonight, but if Gobert can't go, and obviously Cat's not there, and Reid is hurt, this team is hurting in the middle right now, and Luke Garza may have to play a little bit more than 11 minutes.
That's all right. He did all right last night.
He does all right.
Yeah.
I think the kid is.
But he's got to play against Jokic.
Jokic. Yeah.
Jesus.
Big game tonight because they're tied and they're both a half game behind Oklahoma City. So with about 14 games left, the Wolves have 3 of those 14 are against the Nuggets starting tonight. They have 2 more games left against Phoenix. They play the Lakers yet. There's some. They play Golden State yet. They play Cleveland again. There's some big games coming on the horizon here between now and April 14th before they close out the regular season. So.
Back to Edwards' dunk. Josh, you have the audio of when he was asked about the dunk after the game by Kevin Lynch. Do you have that laying around? Because that's funny, too.
Let's see. I've got a couple things here.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but Kevin Lynch catches up with A1 after the game and shows him the dunk on a teleprompter or whatever the hell you television dorks call it.
There's a couple different ones. Is this the one you mean?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Hey, that was my best dunk of my career. I'm not going to lie. I didn't even react because I dislocated my finger. You see it? I couldn't react to it. I wish I could have reacted to it. I wish I could have.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a few... Excuse me, I turned my own mic off. A few people are texting in saying they're not calling it a dunk because he didn't touch the rim.
I see what they mean. I have no idea why you would want to be nitpicking about this.
That's a dunk.
It's close enough, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Have a little respect for the deceased. John Collins is dead. I mean, fine. He kind of threw it into the. Whatever. I mean, why are we nitpicking about that? Yeah. But Edwards also said it gives me chills because I've always dreamed of dunking on somebody like that.
Yeah.
And after the game, you might have heard the audio. Kids are hollering at Edwards to get his autograph. And he signed a tennis shoe or two when he handed out his wristbands and whatnot. And one kid says, "Can I have your jersey?" And Edwards says, "I got to give that to John Collins."
It's very difficult to hear, but maybe you can pick it out.
This is my first day wearing them, man.
I mean, I'm telling you, that was just one of those moments you'll never forget. in Edwards' career, does anyone else, as far as his just colossal dunks, does anyone remember during the COVID poke, they're playing in Toronto, and so there's not one swinging D in the crowd, right? They were playing the games without crowds. Does anyone remember the dunk he had against Toronto?
I don't.
That's the only one I can remember in Edwards' career where it was just, it took your breath away. You could not believe how high he got up. See if anyone can find that call. That was probably Jim Peterson. And who was the guy before Michael Grady? I liked him too.
Yeah, I can't think of. I can see him. I can't think of his name.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was the only dunk. Well, hardcore Wolves fans, like maybe Catfishing Jesus in our audience, I know they know what I'm talking about. Where you couldn't believe what you were seeing. And you know what?
Fun.
Edwards had a terrible first half. He had 7 points at halftime. Finishes with 32. He just went crazy in this game, as you can tell.
And they needed him. You know, once they lost Nas Reed, they needed him to pick it up. So.
All right, so, you know, there's always fun to be had at the NBA, at an NBA game.
They have a 3-game stretch here that, I know how much you appreciate.
Okay.
Good competition, but they play Denver at home, Cleveland at home, and Golden State at home.
Friggin' Golden State.
And Detroit. But those 3 games are, 3 games that are going to be crucial for them, and they're going to be fun competition because Golden State's battling like crazy to try to make the playoffs. Cavaliers are really good.
Yeah.
They've been banged up lately,
I like watching them. I do.
Yep.
I like watching. Randy, you know me that there's nothing fun for me when the Golden State Warriors are on television. There's nothing fun about that.
I know, but they're here in town, and so that'll make it fun.
Unless, maybe someone will beat the living hell out of Draymond Green. Then I'm having fun. Dave Benz was the announcer that used to work with Jim Peterson. And maybe we can find that audio, and maybe we can put that video up on our website because folks need to see that. That was, a few years ago, but that was something special. Okay, like I was saying, there's always fun to be had at the NBA game. Have you guys seen this new gimmick now that players do? I don't really know why, but a couple of players will exchange jerseys.
Yes.
After the game. Like Cubby and I.
Autograph them and exchange.
Yeah, if Cubby and I were playing against each other at the end of the game, I'll take my jersey off, give it to Josh, and vice versa. We hold each other's jerseys in front of and take a picture. I don't know why, but this is what the young guys are doing. A lot of folks were having laughs with the fact that a player from the Toronto Raptors, well, first off, a player from the Orlando Magic named Anthony Black, and a player from the Toronto Raptors named Grady Dick.
No, don't say it.
Took each other's jerseys.
Don't say it.
And posed. Okay.
Yeah. Rookies, Anthony Black and Grady Dick. One from Arkansas, the other from Kansas. Exchanging jerseys.
So that's what they did.
The best is the looks on their face in the photo.
They know.
The look is we know exactly what we're doing.
They knew what they were doing.
Typical dudes being dudes.
They knew what they were doing.
Our plan has come to fruition.
Now, what was this website I was looking at? SB Nation. They made some other suggestions for who this Grady Dick can take some, these jersey pictures with. Maybe take a picture with DeAndre Hunter. So then you have Dick Hunter. Nazir Little plays in the NBA. You could go Little Dick. Reddish Dick. If he takes a picture with Cam Reddish, Reddish Dick. Dick Thor. If he takes a picture with JT Thor, they could. Are you following this, Randy?
That's fun. That's fun.
Yes, I'm following it.
All right, we might have that dunk you were talking about.
I hope the call. I'm sure Jim Peterson and Dave Benz had some fun with it. But there's no audience, no one in the crowd, but he just shoots through the sky on this dunk in Toronto.
Yeah, let us know if this is the one.
Ooh, they were lucky that wasn't turned over. Anthony Edwards, that time he does finish with the exclamation point.
Watanabe got his feelings hurt on this one. I mean, that is absolutely filthy.
I don't know because there's a crowd there.
Yeah,
I'd have to see the video to tell you.
They're pumping in crowd noise.
They pumped in the crowd noise.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd have to see the video to be 100% sure. But.
Yeah, that it was his rookie year, too.
Okay, put that up on our website.
Okay.
Put last night's up on our website, too. Why not?
It is up there.
You guys are the best. Paul Pierce, speaking of the NBA, Paul Pierce is the latest celebrity to have his house broken into out there in Los Angeles. This is a thing. They're calling it an epidemic. And they stole, $100,000. He's got all this fancy schmancy stuff in his house. But this is the part of the story that I thought would grab you. The LAPD is investigating burglary tourists. So many famous people are having their houses broke into in Los Angeles. The LAPD's been looking into it, and they think it might be burglary tourists from South America who come to Los Angeles solely to break into mansions.
Yeah, let's go on vacation and steal a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of these celebrities, they know exactly where they're at, right? They can turn on the TV and see they're playing a game and wherever.
I guess that's one way to get your vacation paid for.
When musicians are on tour as well, that happens to a lot of them.
Musicians on tour?
Yep. They know that obviously they're not home. They're on tour, so they go and break into their houses.
Yeah, that sucks because they don't really have a way to lie about that. I was always told if you ever go on vacation to not post any vacation photos until you're back in town. But they can't really do that when they're selling tickets.
We got Troy here from Rock Elm in Plymouth in studio to talk about the new Randy Shaver burger that's on special over there. And you're talking about how you want fans to come in and watch the ball games. Well, tonight the play-in games are on television, Troy.
Yep, and we'll have them on.
True TV. True TV. It'll take you all afternoon to find that channel.
Probably.
But once you find Randy, the games tonight, the play-in games tonight. Wagner versus Howard is the first game around 5:40. And then right after that, Virginia, Colorado State. So this is the beginning of it all.
I never miss a Wagner versus Howard game.
Nobody does.
Mm-mm.
And I don't know, did we talk about this guy before? He sounds so familiar. A player for Howard University, who you can see on television tonight. His name is Seth Towns. He's 26 years old.
Did he play in Mankato before he went to Howard?
We love to joke around about these old-timers still playing college sports. It's most prominent with the Mankato men's hockey team, as you all know. The guys in their 30s. But this guy, if he plays next year, it'll be his 7th year of college basketball. There is, I guess, a window open for him to even play next year because of red shirt, multiple red shirts, the COVID thing. I think we've talked about him before. I don't know. He's not the only one. That's maybe why it sounds familiar to me. So check him out. He's got a wife and kids in the friggin' crowd.
God, he'll be older than the Mankato State hockey player if he comes back another year.
Well, no, he won't. Those guys are in their 30s. He's 5 months older than Jason Tatum, who's in the middle of his 7th year with the Boston Celtics. So I don't know if it's the same guy, but, we get a kick out of that.
He just doesn't want to leave college.
No, he's having too much fun.
It's the time of his life.
So coming up, Nebraska will be playing in the NCAA tournament. The first time they've been in there in 10 years. With Freddie Hoiberg, yeah.
Yeah, great job by Freddie.
Mm-hmm. I read an article, and in case you haven't seen this kid play, I've seen him play multiple times. In case you haven't seen Kasai, I know the last name, Tamanaga, little point guard for Nebraska. Anyone have any idea what I'm talking about?
I'm not familiar.
Oh, really, Randy? You're not familiar with this kid?
I've probably have seen him, but I can't picture.
Oh, wow. He's been just hotter than hell the last couple of years playing basketball for Fred Hoiberg.
People love this guy.
Yeah, the reason why I bring it up is because I've read multiple articles saying they hope that Nebraska makes a run because Tamanaga is one of the greatest showmen in college basketball, and he really is. He's not the biggest guy in the world, as you might imagine, but he can dump threes. He's just an exciting player. I was bringing this up in hopes, Randy, that you knew what I was talking about. So, okay, cool. You get to see him. I think Friday they play their first game.
They play Texas A&M. Yep, on Friday.
He's a headband guy like you, Dana.
Oh, nice.
Or like he used to be, I guess.
He was born in Japan, played high school basketball in Japan, didn't initially have the grades to play at the NCAA level here. So he started at a junior college called Ranger College, wherever the hell that is. And then Nebraska offered him a full ride. And now here he is At least I went into this thinking that I wasn't the only one. Okay, well.
He's like has the most joy and happiest player. I mean, he's just having fun.
See, Troy knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Yeah, if you search pictures of him, you're exactly right. I guess I didn't notice
just
that.
a huge grin all the time.
Yes, he's a blast to watch. Yep. So there you go. For you new people, check him out. Boy, that Shannon Sharp, he's a real risk taker, huh?
That looks like the first bracket I ever filled out.
Yep. I don't know. I don't watch this. Apparently, there's a television show called First Take on ESPN. Yep. Shannon Sharp is part of this television program.
Yeah, him and Stephen A.
Stephen A. Smith? Oh, I love Stephen A. Smith. So Shannon Sharp and everyone on the show made their final 4 picks. Shannon Sharp picked all 4 number 1 seeds in the men's and women's tournament. That is hilarious.
He's getting really risky, yeah.
And
that's actually kind of easy to do. If you don't...
Well, of course it's easy to do.
Pay attention to college basketball as much. You know, you find it hard to believe that Purdue's not going to get all the way through their side of the bracket or North Carolina or whatever. So, yeah. I mean, the key, as you know, to picking these tournament games is finding the upsets, the 5 and the 12 or the 6 and the 11. Which team will be upset? Because that's how you score the most points in these brackets. So.
All 4 number 1 seeds in the men's and women's tournament. That's hilarious. Oh, listen to this, Josh. A few listeners have texted in to tell me that Kasai Taminaga of the Nebraska Cornhuskers college basketball team, they call him the Japanese Steph Curry. Ooh, that's a catchy nickname.
Steph Curry.
Here we got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Or Josh and I have decided that the better nickname is Steph Blurry.
Steph Blurry is better.
The kid with the goggles, he'll be playing the Golden Gophers, hopefully in the NIT.
If they both win.
Some folks go through the effort of Steph Blurry, but all they came up with this Taminaga is the Japanese Steph. You got to do better than that. All right. Golden Gophers tonight, 8 o'clock versus Butler in the National Invitational Tournament. Playing the Bulldogs on ESPNU. And as we talked yesterday, if the Golden Gophers can win and Indiana State wins also in the NIT, then we'll get to see the Gophers against Steph Blurry. Golden Gopher ladies have accepted an invitation to the NIT. So I'm not sure who they're going to play, but they're going to go to the NIT, which is cool. Pigs, 9 o'clock at the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, great. Fabulous.
Is there a pre-party of some sort?
I love the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah,
The Muppet Show Road Tour starring Wapple, accompanied by the Ho Train, is headed where tonight, Wapple?
We'll be in Blaine. We'll be at Moe's Ice House. We'll be there before the game from 7 to 9. We'll be there with Coors Light, and we'll be giving away Wild Sweet tickets.
Okay, you can't be happy to have to go to Blaine, right? No one ever is.
I actually don't mind it because I'm from Lionel Lake, so it borders.
Oh, so you've had it even worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what's up there. Trust me.
The Muppet Show. You know what to expect.
And you know what? It's vice versa. They know what's coming, too.
Oh, exactly, Randy. I probably won't be back after this one.
It's a mutual uneasiness between the two of you.
Once you cross the border, you're in trouble.
Yeah, there's just hostility.
Because, you know, a lot of folks, when they go to Blaine, they look around and go, good God, what am I even looking at? But you're from that neighborhood.
Yep.
9 o'clock, playing the Anaheim Ducks on the road, and okay, the Muppet Show. What's the name of the joint?
Moe's Ice House.
Moe's Ice House from 7 to 9.
It's the place where they do curling and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. I hate curling.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
I haven't tried it.
I tried it once. It was very difficult.
It's also a lot more boring than it looks. It is a big game, isn't it, Randy? They got to play it without what's-his-nuts. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, his nuts.
State of hockey my ass, you guys. State of hockey my ass. Ack is out. Erickson Ack is out.
He's out.
He's not playing.
Well, they start the night 5 points behind Vegas.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously, every game at this point is absolutely critical. So,
Ack is hurt again. Hasn't played the last couple of... He didn't make the trip. He didn't make the trip to California. So they're going to try this new rookie center out. I have no idea how to say his name.
Oh, I do.
Go ahead.
Husnitska?
Well, I don't know.
I wrote it down.
You have this
just for this very moment.
You have it written down somewhere in your home?
I do. I have the pronouncer. And now, of course,
Marat is the first name.
Just keep getting further and further.
I love it.
Where are you going?
Come on, I got it right here. Husnadinov.
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 And is it Marat?
It is. Marat.
Maratsky.
Husnadinov.
Husnadinov.
Yeah.
Can we just call him Hoots?
Hootskis.
Just call him Hoost.
Hooters.
Yeah.
He's going to get some ice time tonight because Eck can't play.
God, I'm so excited I was able to find that.
Yeah, nice work.
I wrote it down because I knew this was going to happen sooner or later. I'm going to have to pronounce the kid's name.
Husnadinov. Oh, old Alexander Ovechkin, he can't quite get her cooking the way he used to. Slowing down. But last night he put a couple goals on the board, and now he is the third player in NHL history with at least 20 goals in 19 straight seasons.
Wow. That's incredible.
Can you guess the other two? I mean, one is
Gretzky for sure.
Well, I was going to say, okay,
maybe Mike Bossy.
Hang on a second, Randy.
Okay.
It's not Gretzky.
Oh,
you got to consider guys that played.
didn't play that long.
A long
Yager.
No. Gretzky's idol. Go ahead.
Howe. Gordie Howe?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's like we're living in Florida.
Stop it.
The other, you'll never guess. But
Really?
he played. No, I don't think so. I don't
Randy
think.
feels hurt.
If you couldn't quite come up with Gordie Howe, I don't think
Well,
you're.
I got Gordie Howe.
Okay. I hated his guts. His very guts. Brendan Shanahan.
Oh, okay.
He played
With Detroit.
forever.
That's amazing, though. 20 or more goals in 19 consecutive seasons.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Listeners thought maybe you were going to guess Brett Favre.
No. I saved that for only special occasions.
That goes back to yesterday. Troy, you ain't kidding. Your friend Randy's getting old.
Oh, my God. Stop it.
Yesterday we were having a conversation.
Does this place have an HR department? Because this has just been relentless.
No, they don't.
It's been
They do, and
outsourced.
they're very familiar with this show.
Yesterday we were having a football conversation, and we talked about Brett Favre for about 10 seconds. Right, Troy? Are you following this?
Yep.
And then maybe a minute later, Randy completely forgot that we had talked about Brett Favre. And we're all even more worried than we were, a year.
I get distracted sometimes, and I'm looking at things and reading some things, trying to stay ahead of the game to bring something up, and I just did not hear you say it.
Troy doesn't want to hear excuses.
Randy, trying to keep up, just you're putting fuel on the fire.
Exactly.
You're giving us more ammo.
What is this terrible situation, Randy Shaver? It says here the Twins' new trade acquisition, starting pitcher Anthony
Done.
DeScalfini is done, not going to play.
He's done for the season.
He hurt himself.
Not only that, but they lose. But here's the other thing, though. I think Louis Varland all along was going to be the fifth starter.
Okay.
So it's not like, DeScalfani was in the running for the fifth spot in the rotation, but I think all along Varland was going to be the guy. So it's
was the plan then if he doesn't beat out Varland, he goes to the bullpen? Or just goes
that I couldn't tell you what the plan was.
Or goes to St. Paul or what?
Well, probably, but
Okay.
I'm not sure about that. I'm just saying that Varland really was the guy that was going to end up being the fifth starter. Having said that, though, that's an arm that they can't afford to lose. And then Duran is hurt, so he's not going to open the season with the active roster, which means that likely Griffin Jacks will take over the closer role. At least it might be more of a, combination of Jacks and some other guys, but this is not a good way to start the season. And if you look around baseball right now, this is happening not just with the Twins, but a lot of teams. There are a lot of teams right now that there are guys who are not going to be starting the season on the active roster because of, arm injuries or oblique injuries, things like that. So to me, it feels like it's more than normal as far as players that aren't going to be starting the season with their teams.
Isn't Thielbar injured too?
Yeah. He is not going to be on the active roster to start the season either.
Duran as well.
That's what I said.
Oh, you said that already?
Yes, Brett. Yes,
Brett.
Brett. Yes, Brett.
Did you talk about Favre?
Yes, we did.
See, now I'm the old guy. Jose Miranda cut.
Yeah.
Trevor Larnach cut.
Yeah.
So they'll play in St. Paul.
They'll be in St. Paul.
Isn't Miranda a funny story? I mean, it's a sad story because he hurt himself and he just can't quite.
He just never really got back to that where he was. And I think also part of it, too, is that the Twins have guys like Kyle Farmer and guys like that who kind of taken that role that Miranda was playing for this team. So just makes it a little bit more difficult for him to get back. But then you look at the other side of that, that's a luxury you'd like to have, is that you've got a Miranda sitting there in St. Paul in case you get an injury who can play multiple positions and come help your team out. So then, of course, the big baseball news last night was that Blake Snell signed with the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, I missed that.
So 2 years, $62 million. So he's now, off the free agent market, and that means that Jordan Montgomery is really the other, and Lorenzen. Those are the two guys that are out there still that have not signed with a team that. And again, look, the Yankees lost Garrett Cole. He's out for X amount of time to start the season. There's teams out there that are looking at, the Dodgers will start the season without Walker Buehler. There's teams that are looking for pitchers. So these free agents that are sitting out there probably won't last much longer just because of the need that some of these teams have.
Baseball's just a little over a week away, like you said, right?
Well, tomorrow morning, 5 a.m.
Well, no, I'm talking
the Dodgers and the Padres open the season.
Don't care. I'm talking about the Twins.
It's the season.
No, I don't care.
Open.
I don't care about the Dodgers.
I'm going to talk about it a lot tomorrow morning.
That's fine. I'll listen.
I can't wait.
Don't expect me to care that the Dodgers and Padres are playing at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I mean, it's the start of the season.
The game will just be wrapping up by the time Randy gets on.
Yeah.
I'm watching the tournament. Basketball tournament. I don't care.
The tournament's not on at 5 a.m. Baseball is.
Come on in tomorrow, Randy, and we will have a TV in studio to watch the Padres and Dodgers at 5 o'clock in the morning. We'll be right here.
It's kind of like when the pandemic happened and Major League Baseball, of course, all the sports stopped, that spring. Didn't start right away because of everything. And the only baseball you could get was the Japanese league.
I did watch some of that.
Yeah, that's right. And everybody would, if you were a baseball fan, sometimes you'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning so you could watch baseball.
What time?
You're very excited. He's very excited, you guys.
I love baseball.
What channel is it on? Wapple wants to know. This is important right here. We're going to find out what channel it's on.
I don't have that in front of me.
State of hockey, my ass.
Oh, my God. Why do you always blame hockey for that?
It says it's on FUBU TV.
Oh.
FUBU.
Yeah, so you might need to...
The clothing brand?
It's on ESPN.
Oh, it is?
I'm looking at it right now. ESPN. It's Tyler Glasnow against Yu Darvish tomorrow morning, 5 a.m.
He knows the pitchers and everything. One of the most hilarious chapters in Vikings history came to an end yesterday when Josh Dobbs signed a contract with the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah,
that guy's amazing, isn't he?
Wasn't that just the oddest few weeks that you remember in Vikings history?
Yeah,
that really was. The best part was people selling their jerseys.
Oh, my God.
Buying his jerseys, I should say. I mean, come on.
It was ridiculous. And then the guy suddenly... Wait a minute. Wait, how do I do this again?
That and O'Connell telling him who to throw the ball to in his ears in the helmet, in the radio system.
Imagine going and putting like $150 down on a Josh Dobbs
I know.
jersey. It's so insane to me.
Well, I bought a KJ Osborne jersey over the summer that was autographed. Kind of regretting that a little bit.
The Josh Dobbs thing was just absolutely hilarious.
So does that make 3 houses for him in like 9 months?
I'll bet you he doesn't even buy a house.
He's not buying houses.
No way.
This guy's got a camper or something.
This guy's got a
Rico camper.
He's got a fish house.
He's just got an ice castle.
He's got an ice castle. Yeah.
He's got the Kirk Cousins minivan. He just drives the van from place to place.
Is Dobbs coming to town?
Man,
that was so.
I mean, good for him. It also tells you how the quarterback situation in the NFL is. It's kind of like we used to laugh about managers in baseball, how they always got recycled all the time. Now, that doesn't happen as much anymore. Giving Major League Baseball some credit, they now start finding these younger guys and whatever. But there was a time where you got fired from one team and a week later you're managing another team because they just couldn't get past that. They kept recycling the same guys. Quarterbacks in the NFL are kind of the same way.
Yep. They just go round and round, Randy.
They do, yeah. How many teams is this for Dobbs? 7?
I have no idea.
That's insane.
I think it's something like 7 teams.
No idea.
That he's been with.
That's great.
It's good work if you can get it.
Hey, Augsburg College won their 15th national championship in wrestling this past weekend.
Yes, they are a Division III power.
I did not know that.
Yes.
The bad news is they had to go to La Crosse, Wisconsin to win the tournament, but they made it out of there. Yeah. They beat another D3 school called Wartburg.
Yep, from Iowa.
Is that Iowa?
Yeah, they're right down there by just outside of Waterloo.
Great Barkle, the fainting goat down there.
I know a gal that'll take you on a quick trip to Wartburg if you're not careful. These two schools, Augsburg and Wartburg, are now tied for the most national championships in Division III history.
Oh.
They are the only two schools to win the Division III wrestling national title since 1995. So they just alternate.
So they've alternated. Wow.
Jesus criminy. I scored a lot of goals over there at Augsburg College in our beer league. I'll be damned. Brings me back, Randy. I remember once.
They probably should build a statue.
Well, that's not necessary. People talk about it enough to where they don't need to be reminded with it. They don't need a statue. But a lot of points were put up. 1,000 career points. It brings me back to one game where I was playing defense, and it was, one of those situations. I know you guys don't understand hockey at all or watch hockey, but it was a situation where
I understand it. I just was not good at it.
One of those situations where, the other club is crashing the net, and our goalie, Vinny, he's back there. Smells like pot. Vinny's back there. Vinny makes a save, and he freezes the puck. And, my job as a defenseman is to keep the opposition off our goalie, right? They're stabbing away at the – and I gave this guy a little cross-check in the chest to back him off our goalie. And he says, "Get off of me, druggie."
Ouch.
And I had to say to the guy, I haven't been called a druggie since I was in 7th grade. Back off of me, druggie.
Got you.
I'd be dying.
We were both in our mid-30s, and I think he realized, wait a minute. Why did I say that?
Maybe he just smelled Vinny.
He might have. All right, they're going through this bit again. We can close with this. They're going through this bit again. 300,000 condoms will be provided to the athletes at this year's Summer Olympic Games. At the Olympic Village, they're going to drop off 300,000 condoms. That averages out to 2 per day for every athlete. I don't have anything in front of me how that compares to last time around. Did they have less
probably
condoms
about the
or
same.
more?
Seems like, about the same.
I don't know. Paris is the city of love, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, did Randy Shaver just quote David Coverdale, Josh? I think he did.
It's the city of love.
Is this the city of love? David Coverdale said at a live show in Paris once before they went into the song Is This Love? From their 1987 self-titled record. Yes, Josh.
If you and Wapple were Olympians and you're handed your assortment of condoms, neither of you would use them, but for different reasons. Completely different reasons. Wapple, lack of opportunity. Nick, lack of interest.
That's so perfectly true. Yeah.
Are they collector's items? Do they have the Olympic logo on them?
That's a good question.
That would be so
I wonder.
cool.
I did not see any, as Wapple would say.
I wonder if they're like specially made for Olympians.
I don't know.
I would totally put the Eiffel Tower on it. You know, if I think
Yeah.
it's bigger.
Well, you use
That's a great opportunity.
You put on the rubbers. Are you? What are you saying?
You mean on the actual rubber part?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, like the Eiffel Tower.
That would be fun watching the rise.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Well, why don't you? You should use the rubber while performing the Eiffel Tower.
That's the route I thought he was going at first too.
I assumed there was a mom joke coming at some point.
300,000 condoms. It's going to be raining rubbers as the athletes walk into the Olympic, how do you call it, village.
Here's your gift bag.
That's part of your swag bag.
Yeah.
On my way to Würzburg.
Welcome to Paris.
Oh. But, you know, I have heard.
That's a different kind of swag bag.
I have heard stories that once these athletes are done with their events, they just start bumping with anything that moves, and they rake in as much junk food as they could handle because they've been eating.
They know they're done.
Right,
Yeah.
they're all done.
Sacrificed so much.
Right, so it's just naked bodies and pizza boxes everywhere once they're done with their with the triathlon or whatever it is that they do with the Olympics.
Simon texted in and said, you know, based on how good of a lover you are, those condoms should come in gold, silver, and bronze.
Exactly. Yeah. And you hear the Olympic theme.
when you open it up.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, I'm done.
Uh-oh, it's time.
You get Bob Costas in there calling the action.
I tell you what, if you're an Olympian, and that's what you're thinking about, you want to make sure that your event is like the first couple of days of the Olympics. Because it would suck if it's the marathon.
Yeah.
Because the marathon's
good
the
call.
last event of the entire thing.
Everybody else is having fun.
Everybody's having fun, and you're still training. It's like, oh, God.
I'm in my friggin' room doing squats and eating rice cakes.
And you can hear them next door.
Oh, yeah. Talking dirty in Russian.
And you're going, I've got to run the marathon the last day of the
Dodging
Olympics.
condom wrappers left and right.
Can you imagine all the foul talk, all the dirty talk in foreign languages?
Oh, yeah.
You would think you were under attack, maybe, in some situations.
Oh, man.
They do say that, remember the stories about how in Tokyo, the last time they did the Summer Olympics, that the beds were garbage? They were made out of cardboard?
Oh, yeah, those pictures were hilarious.
So I guess the good news is you'll have all the rubbers you need. The bad news is the same company that made those garbage cardboard beds in Tokyo supplied the beds for Paris as well. So don't expect to get a great night's sleep. We heard stories that it was just straight up garbage. But whatever. They're young people. They can get over it.
Yeah, they can handle it.
All right, there we go. We got to get going. But again, we want to thank and apologize to Troy from Rock Island.
Yeah, it took a turn at the end there. Sorry, Troy.
He knew what he was getting into, didn't you, Troy?
It is always entertaining here, and I truly appreciate it.
Tell folks, give folks a heads up one more time on what's going on at the joint for the NCAA basketball tournament.
Absolutely. We'll have all the games on, and we're selling our Shaver Burger with Fulton beer for $20. $5 each goes to the Randy Shaver Cancer and Research Fund.
Well, it's a hell of a deal. We'll swing by. You know,
Rock Elm.
Rock Elm, Plymouth. You know, Randy will be there.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Friggin' hand out, with his hand out.
Be carried out at the end.
After me. Don't you know who I am?
Wondering why they're coming by at 5 a.m. Can we watch the baseball game? Hey, Troy, it's Randy. Do you mind opening up at 5 a.m.? I want to watch the Dodgers. And
He's got his own key.
Oh, my God. Yeah, exactly. The lights are on at 5 a.m. in Rock Elm.
Oh, Randy's there again.
One guy at the
Over from the night before.
his hair's all messed
I'm
up.
making my own Shaver Burger.
How do I turn this grill on?
He's got an apron on and nothing else.
Oh, my God. Welcome to the Olympics.
Thanks again, Troy.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Troy.
Of
Thank
course,
you, Troy.
of course.
Appreciate it.
Randy, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Well, as a matter of fact, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
Are you ready for hard-hitting observations?
Reality remains reality no matter how hard you try to ignore it.
The Ben Shapiro Show brings you all the news you need to know in America today.
Again, I'm all here for the pop culture, people dating each other for the press.
Ben breaks down the culture and never gives an inch.
Every so often, and by every so often I mean literally every 27 seconds, so the producer gets fired.
The Ben Shapiro Show on YouTube or wherever you listen. Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
All right, it's Tuesday. It's early in the morning. Well, maybe not that early anymore. It's 8:32. We appreciate all of you very much listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. All right, here we go. Talk to me. What are your greatest fears? Who wants to start?
Easy.
What
Clowns.
Are your clowns?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to write this down so I know how to terrify you in the future. Ashley,
You guys already have.
Yeah, we knew that
Well,
one.
I forgot that one. You reminded me.
And yeah,
Clowns.
we did do that once, not knowing at the time. We thought it was the fear of clowns, like plenty of people say.
Yeah.
We didn't know how deeply that cuts you, and I still feel terrible about it.
I know, you felt so bad, Josh. I guess I have
was
another
shocked.
one other than clowns.
Yeah, no, here's
for
the
you.
deal. There can be way more than one answer. If you have a lot of fears, dump them on us. No judgment. Clowns?
I would say this one I get made fun of as well. I don't like ladybugs, butterflies, dragonflies.
That is
because they are very unpredictable and they just like fly right at you.
June bugs.
Oh, nope.
They
Throw them in the
have
trash.
you don't know where they're headed.
Nope.
They just kind of buzz around with no real purpose. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just going to write down bugs because that's a lot to write down. What
And
you just said.
ladybugs stick to you too when they land on you.
And they get in your ears. They make babies.
Yeah.
You get a disease in the brain and you die. Who else? Greatest fears?
Data, you got to have nomophobia.
What is that
Are you
exactly?
familiar? See, I'm surprised you don't know what it is because I think you suffer from
Is
it.
that fear of condiments?
No, fear of being without your mobile phone.
Oh, yeah, I do have that for sure.
Which would be worse?
Not having my phone or getting doused in ketchup? Ooh, God.
Yeah, it's a week. A week
my
long of either
God.
one.
I'm writing this down now. Dana, crush his phone when he's not looking. You have fear of being without your phone.
I do, yes.
You have a fear of ketchup.
That is a legit fear. I've seen that
You've
as
seen
well.
it play out in
also
person.
surprised me.
And also another one we talked about earlier when we were talking about submarine movies. I can't watch them because of just I feel claustrophobic even just envisioning being in a submarine.
You have claustrophobia.
Yes.
Text us. We're at 651-989-9393. Dump your greatest fears on us. We're all going to share this back and forth and, again, use it against each other in the future.
I wonder if you being tall has something to do with you being claustrophobic because you're always like, I don't know, like a normal room is smaller to you compared to a smaller person.
Well, for God's sake, he's not minute.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's over 6'5".
I'm not that much taller than the average Joe, but yeah.
Wappa, what are you afraid of?
Oh, you are.
Aside from women, you're afraid. You're totally.
Yeah.
Of course, I go along with that one too. I don't like heights much.
Yeah, heights. That's probably the biggest.
Cubby,
you don't want to go on a hot air balloon ride with me anytime soon?
Nope. I always said that my worst death I could possibly think of would be going in a giant clock tower.
You're in a giant clock tower.
Yeah, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And then you fall in the gears. And you're just crushed like a tube of toothpaste.
I do remember
specific.
I remember you saying this before.
Because not only am I up high and I'm scared of the heights, then you fall into the gears, and I feel like it would take you a long time until you're dead. So you would just get crushed like a tube of toothpaste.
All right, I'm going to write this down. I'm writing down Wapple. See a psychiatrist.
Yeah. Invite Wapple to my next clock tower birthday party.
We have strange how specific that was.
Oh, yeah.
Listeners are texting in, falling under ice. Girls are very scary.
Roller coasters?
Rowing across the ocean is my greatest fear.
Spiders, people are texting in.
Josh,
Mice?
would you like to add in your greatest fears?
Well, I'm fearful that I'll become unconscious from a seizure or something, and a paramedic might actually see my penis and then talk about it with the rest of the crew.
Right.
I'm fearful of Nick ever disliking me for something. I don't like that thought. Certainly, I don't understand or appreciate insects. I don't like them. I don't want them. Spiders, definitely.
All right.
Thankfully, I have my wife to help with that stuff.
Yes, you do.
I would rather face a rabies-infected tiger than I would a giant spider of some sort.
Rabies-infected tiger. I know a guy who could set you up with that.
And he's really horny. That's one of the side effects of the rabies, and he wants me. And then he wants to kill me. I'll take that over any spider or bug.
I really don't like bugs
They
either.
creep me out.
June bugs, absolutely hate. Just the sound of them when you step on them, they crunch. Everything about them's disgusting.
Ugh.
But I also hate like millipedes and centipedes that have all those legs. Ugh.
I've just was growing up in a Minneapolis basement. I've had my share. I don't need any more bugs and weird bugs, ones that haven't even been invented, crawling all over.
It's okay. You mentioned basements. Our text machine is rolling like we're playing slots at a casino here because of all the people texting in their greatest fears, and it's great. Just real quick, you said something about your basement. Here's a listener who has a fear of basement, a listener who has a fear of basements, I should say, a listener who has a fear of horses.
You know, Randy Shaver said before he has a bit of a fear of basements, where he has to run up the stairs every time, even as a grown man.
Drowning.
That sounds awful.
Now, okay. So I'll have to play along here as well. You guys know that I don't like heights. Wapple and I established that from time to time on the program. But I can't really think of any others. I can't really think of anything that just gives me the smooth creeps.
Oh, I got another one.
But I got to go this route. I got to tell you this. I don't know if I've ever informed you of this. I have a real fear of being wet and cold.
It's a fear, an actual fear?
Well, I don't know how to define it. I'm just trying to, because I can't really think of anything other than heights. I'm trying to come up with something that, when I think about it, gives me kind of a chill up the spine.
So, I was going to ask you about...
So I don't know how to define that. Wouldn't that just be a straight-up fear?
I don't know. So that's why I was wondering if the bugs one for me. Like, I'm not afraid of bugs. They just, like, give me the heebie-jeebies. Or, like, I think they're disgusting. Is that a fear? Like, I wouldn't run from a bug.
But just to simplify it, let's just call it a fear.
We'll call that one?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I had an issue. It's a long story, but I was swimming and I got trapped under a dock. I couldn't get out from under this dock, and I thought I was going to drown, and I may have come pretty close to drowning. And it was very chilly, and I was wet and cold. I don't know if that's the basis for this fear, but I'll just give you an example. When I watched that awful Tom Cruise movie, Lost at Sea, what was that called?
Castaway?
Tom Hanks.
What did I say?
Tom Cruise. Hey, how the hell did you get that one, Waffle?
When I watched Tom Hanks in Castaway, right? The plane. Of course, I didn't like that part either when the plane goes into the ocean. But when he's in his lifeboat, right? He's in the middle of the ocean. That part kind of creeped me out because I assumed he was very wet and cold.
You must hate Titanic then.
You know what? Titanic didn't do that to me, which maybe...
Talk about a surprise ending, by the way.
So I don't know what that says about me that Titanic didn't. But anyway, wet and cold. That's one. I'll go along with that. I'll just say I have that fear.
I've got another weird one. Obviously, it's me. I got another weird fear. But, like giant ships.
Oh, yeah, dude. I feel you.
Like cruise ships. They just get me uneasy. It's like
the sight of them.
Yeah.
If you see it on television, if you see one go by, you go to Duluth, you see the barge go by.
It's just so big. Like, why do you have to be so massive? And then, like, the propellers, too, those are, like, 3 stories tall, and I always picture my falling off a cruise ship or something. And
now, that to me sounds more like a phobia.
True. But it's like you can't get away from those giant rudder things because they're so big. You're done. Sorry.
Yeah, we've talked about this a couple times, Waffle, and when we do, I get spammed on my social media with like crazy ocean videos of like people on like barges or like oil rigs.
Yeah, there was this other ship I saw. It sank in less than 30 seconds. And then there was just nothing but ocean. And it's like, dude, there was a massive ship just right there.
Here's a listener who's texted in who's afraid of bridges. Afraid of parakeets.
When I was a kid, I was afraid of death. Like, you know, just laying there.
I think every kid is.
Forever and ever and ever, and you're never
And didn't
coming
you
back.
tell us that you used to go to bed as a child and fear every single night that your parents would be dead when you woke up in the morning?
Or I would die, or someone would die, and then you're just laying there forever and ever and ever.
I remember as a kid when my dad had said, you know, I'd mentioned being scared of dying or scared your parents are going to die, and he's like, you know, when you get older, you won't be. Don't worry about it. And I didn't understand as a kid. I'm like, how could I not be scared of dying? How could I not?
The reason we're all jaw-jacking back and forth about our fears, and I see the text messages cooking. We'll get to your text. Appreciate it. We asked you to text in your greatest fears. There's more rolling by. Ladders. The reason I brought it up, wouldn't this be something? Scientists.
What do they know?
What the hell do those guys? They believe they've figured out how to, wouldn't this be something? How to turn off the brain's fear switch.
I already got it figured out.
How's that?
I don't know how to do that for women, but for men, get an erection. You're a completely different person. You have no fears at that point. You're willing to do really stupid stuff. We've talked about it before.
Yeah, okay. And also, I was just thinking, liquor turns off a lot of our fear switches.
Definitely does.
Yeah, that helps. The pot, does that, or maybe just has to be a harder
Nobody
drug?
smokes pot. I don't want to talk about pot.
I heard people say that it gets them more anxious.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, paranoia.
Makes me way more anxious.
I've heard that as well.
This just crossed my mind. If scientists turn off our fear switch, I mean, we're all just going to walk into traffic, aren't we? I mean, if we're not afraid of anything, I don't think we'll be here for long.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
It
you
serves a purpose.
That'd be pretty
exactly.
cool, though.
It serves a purpose. I mean, this will probably never happen, but some folks at the University of California at San Diego have discovered a fear switch in the brain, and they've figured out how to turn it off. Okay, I'll believe it when I see it, but
Maybe if they could just dummy it down versus turn it all the way off.
Just make it so it's not crippling.
Yes.
you turn that fear switch off, I think we'd be here for about a week, and that would be it.
I mean, you know,
some people, unfortunately, live in near constant fear, it says here, Josh.
I feel for folks like that. Seriously, you're ones that are afraid. I joke that I'm agoraphobic, and maybe I shouldn't make that joke because there are people that are terrified to leave the house. I just don't like leaving the house, you know, and that would be, can you imagine living a life like that?
No.
Maybe now's the time if you can work from home and stuff like that, but just being afraid to cross the threshold of your home.
So the goal of this study is not to run around town flipping off everyone's fear switch and then we all just become Johnny Knoxville or something. It's to help people, like Josh was just discussing, people who are constantly in fear. It's to help these people manage their lives a little better and escape that constant feeling of fear and create treatments that will help these people.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
So we were jaw-jacking, weren't we, Josh?
I was here for that.
We were jaw-jacking about scientists.
Scary stuff.
It's turned very scary around here. Scientists believe they've figured out how to turn off the fear switch in our brain, which I think we all collectively agreed would be a bad idea. It's the fear that keeps us alive, for Christ's sake. We'd be dropping like flies, everyone taking chances if they turn this fear switch off in our brains. So naturally, we got in a conversation of what our biggest fears are. Listeners got involved. I'm going to roll through. As we always do, we apologize we couldn't get to more texts. We go as fast as we can. Some of the fears that our listeners have. Rats. One listener said they're so big and intelligent and gross.
And sometimes they teach turtles how to do martial arts.
Yes, they are. They're a sensei.
Stop that.
Wife Plowing Jesus knows a guy that hates making left turns. I wonder if it's the same guy. Was he in a bad high school band in 1992, 1993? Nobody could get a ride home from him if they required a left turn.
I just thought of one over the break about I had a roommate back in college who had a paralyzing fear of escalators. To the point where one time we were running late to the airport, like basically Home Alone style, trying to make it to the terminal. And there's a huge line to get in the elevator with, families and strollers and kids. And I say, dude, we got to take the escalator. He goes, I can't. I had to give him, a grown man, a piggyback ride up the escalator because he refused to put his feet on the thing.
He was afraid of getting sucked in?
Yes.
Yeah. And he thought that was a safer option?
Yes.
Wait a minute, there were no stairs?
What's that?
There were no stairs?
Not that we could see. Like I said, we were just in a rush to make it to the terminal.
This person hates going on bridges over water, driving bridges over water.
Okay, how about driving under railroad bridges? I got a couple of those. Listeners that one of their greatest fears is driving under railroad bridges.
Yeah, my wife is terrified of driving over water in a bridge, to the point where I bought her like a little glass breaker for her car because she wants to be prepared in case she ever goes. And she is a bad enough driver where it could happen.
She's a terrible. What about? But she's okay flying in an airplane over water?
Oh yeah, she's totally fine with that. But just driving on a bridge over water, she has big trouble with that.
One of our listeners is afraid of being locked in the trunk of a car. That's their greatest fear. A fear of cotton balls. A fear of getting stabbed. This listener says, I could handle being shot, but getting stabbed, something about the knife entering the...
Oh, totally agree. Like watching a movie, for me, that's way worse than somebody getting shot.
A few of our listeners, completely grown now, still have that underlying fear of someone being under their bed.
I do.
Do you
Actually,
really?
it crossed my mind last night. Probably doesn't help that I had a couple nightmares last night, but I thought, because I don't like, even when the blanket's hanging off the bed, I want it to be like tucked under me because I'm afraid something's going to get me.
A few of our listeners have that fear of death by Unga Bunga.
Oh, no. This person says, as a kid, I had the biggest fear our house was going to burn down while sleeping, had extra clothes next to my bed to sleep. And he said, now I've been in the fire service for 10 years, currently a fire chief.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's funny. I remember as a kid, and we all made this trip when we were tiny little kids. You go to the neighborhood firehouse, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the firemen show you the truck. And we had that one kid who was like, fire truck? They show you the fire truck. They show you videos on fire safety, right?
Yeah.
As a little kid, I watched the video, and I remember it to this day. Whoever was narrating this fire safety video, the voice said, most fires happen while you're asleep. And that threw me. As a tiny little kid, I thought, oh, my day. Well, how am I supposed to protect myself again?
Poor little Nick.
That threw me for like a good week. I think I had trouble with, okay.
Somebody said that their wife is afraid of mascots. I can't imagine that. I love mascots.
Yeah, that'd be such a bummer of a phobia.
I go the other way with that. I can't get enough of them. Afraid of my teeth falling out.
That is a common dream people have, nightmare.
Afraid of falling in love again.
Oh. Work 24/7. Jesus has a fear of elevators. He's 6'6". Doesn't like being in small confinement.
I don't like them either. I'll like kind of stand off to the corner and like brace myself.
The only thing I'm afraid about elevators is farts.
Yeah. With you.
Real quick before we go, thank you for all your texts and all your fears. It feels good to open up about things, and some of it is really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's group therapy here.
There you go. Fears, phobias, same friggin' thing, really. I mean, I'll just throw this at you as we close it out. The most common phobias in America are public speaking, heights.
Got that.
Here, take the bell, Cubby.
For the first.
Every time I read one that,
start over.
Every time I read one that, really honestly, public speaking. And I know what 10,000 people are saying right now. We're on the radio.
This is different. I'm in a room with people that I know. You know?
How about you stop short of saying the word trust?
He was going to say, no, he's an honest
what
man.
I meant by trust is like I trust you're not going to destroy me or cancel me or something like that. It's a
This
little
guy is an honest man. He was going to say love. He was going to say trust. But he would have been lying. So he went with no. Fear of heights. Bugs. Drowning. Blood. And or needles. Blood!
Oh, that's a big one for you, right, Wupple?
Yeah, I just can't look at it. It's not that I'm scared of it. I would pass out.
We're going to lure him. Now ask me, how are we going to lure him?
How are we going to lure him?
Blood! What movie, The Edge? Enclosed in small spaces, claustrophobia type of a thing.
That's me.
Okay, flying. Josh.
You'll have to hit the bell over there.
Yeah, I don't have a. Do I have a? Strangers.
Well, I guess kind of.
Yeah.
I'll go with that one, definitely.
This is so dumb.
Fear of them. It's more fear of how I'm going to embarrass myself.
Can fear of plans be on there?
No.
Oh.
This is so stupid that in the top 10 fears in America, number 9 is zombies.
Come on.
Can we stop with this gimmick at this point? Number 10. We heard it. You heard it on the radio. We played 2 different versions of it. The live version from Rio and the studio out. Fear of the dark.
You know, my family thinks I'm weird. I never turn on lights. And actually, it's bit me in the butt before. Like this morning, I accidentally used my wife's toothbrush, and I'm disgusted by it. Absolutely disgusted. I got to turn a light on every once in a while.
Yeah, I don't use lights either.
I'm a darkness guy, too.
Yeah, same.
I like darkness. Thank you, everybody, again, for your text. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, appreciate it. I know we missed some, so apologies for that.
And we only got, and I have to say, I tried my best to get to as, like I said, we try so hard to get to as many as possible. I only got one where a guy said, sounds like I'm listening to a bunch of sissies here on the radio this morning.
Yeah, he's just the guy. He's the only guy that did that.
Hey, dude, have fun, because I know I know guys like you. Have fun crying yourself to sleep tonight. Crying yourself to sleep.
He has a fear of people realizing he's the biggest sissy in the room. Because when you text something like that, you take the time to text. We know you. We get it. Deadhead Jesus needs a shout out today, having a brain tumor removed this morning at the VA hospital. Jesus, I guess they said. So good luck with that. Happy 21st to Carson from your bro, 2 pumps and a squeeze, Jesus. Happy birthday to our friend, Seen Clean Jesus, from his smoking hot wife, Seen Clean Jesus. And happiest birthday wishes to the greatest big brother ever, shoots himself too much with a nail gun, Jesus, from Natural Light Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.